Good night, everyone. Good night, and welcome to Crossfire, the brand new Sky FM action-packed, hot as ever discussion with yours truly, Norbert Williams from Keeping It Real. On my right, we have Champagne from Champagne in the Morning. Directly across in front of me, Dr. Secret, the man who always gives you the first visit free. And bringing up the rear, on my left, is the man Ring the Bell, Sonic Cloche, as he's popularly called on radio. Good night, gentlemen. Good night to all of you.
Well, good night to you, sir, and good night, St. Lucia. Good night, St. Lucia. Welcome.
Champagne's looking like he's ready to go, folks.
Boy, listen, I'm bright. I went to the supermarket, the lady said my too bright is affecting her eyes.
What is the? Everybody's wearing the brand new, the just ironed.
That's right.
Yo just paseo. The Sky FM shirt, folks. It's got beautifully embroidered Sky FM logo on it. And of course, everybody's wearing their shirt proudly. We have two ties over there. And Champagne. And I'm in disguise. No bow tie tonight.
That's right.
I put the bow tie on the side.
That's right.
So that's about it. So Champagne.
Yes, sir.
We have Crossfire. And Crossfire, folks, is meant to be the opinions, the discussion from all four of us, bringing you the action as we see it from the different communities, from the different perspectives of St. Lucians, and from, of course, the perspectives of our hosts right here, the four hottest hosts on talk radio in St. Lucia. What do you say about that?
Right?
Yeah, Dr. Secret, what do you think?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Absolument.
So, dia bay pou se moun wak kamin la, nou ka komanse la oswe.
Ok, ben nou ka di bienvenue pour un programme neuf, nous ni, ça c'est Diffé qu'a traversé. C'est ça nous ka crié Crossfire, en patois, c'est Diffé qu'a traversé. On soit nous là pour nous discuter.
Ça c'est non, y a patois.
Diffé qu'a traversé,
okay.
Crossfire.
Ok.
So, on soit nous là pour nous discuter bagay qui a fait en pays. Et nous ka vle les moun ka crié en fait en manière qui propre.
That's right.
Because si ou pas fait propre, ou pas kay sa traverser l'hiver.
Exi by 3 show, nou kay ring the bell pour se book diffé a, se fireman la vini
pour 10 by. Ça c'est whole bagay la nou ni champagne. Pour les bagay la belle nou ka pop champagne.
Ah.
Autant? Si Goya même que la docteur c'est là, si en tous les cas,
on y fait il boit trop.
Docteur là. Sonne cloche.
Ça y est. Ça y est fait.
Il a sonné cloche là.
Oh, il a sonné. C'est pas ça ou du bonnet, plus bonnet, elle m'a dit venir ici hein.
Ça veut dire.
Ça qui fait mon cloche là.
Il juste commencé, moi je comprends pas. Sonne cloche.
That's right, folks. Round 1. Well,
nous a dit c'est mon boss, ouais.
Ring the bell, parlez là.
Moi, je dis bonsoir pour toute maman ici.
Oui.
Ça, c'est un programme neuf nous menons ensemble. Ça, c'est Team Sky FM. Ça, c'est M. Nobot, M. Champagne, M. Dr. Secret, et puis moi-même, Ring the Bell. Et puis, on sera nous allons discuter et nous allons indiquer maman ici, manière pour changer mindset. Et pour ne pas quitter ces oppositions, ça va jouer et puis indication. Alors, on se fait un bagage qui est chaud, mais les scepticiens, les autres capiers, on nous respecte l'opinion, il y en a l'autre, et puis nous pas insulter pièce à sous Sky FM.
All right, St. Lucia, welcome to the brand new program, Crossfire, with yours truly, Champagne, the man Dr. Secret, the man Ring the Bell, and our moderator, Brother Norbert Williams. And it's a brand new program. It's basically the same thing as if it is just Champagne in the Morning and Dr. Secret are coming to Ring the Bell and Keeping It Real. You can call us at both of our numbers, 4560931, 4850931. We're on Sky FM. This is a brand new logo. Sure. There it is. The sky is the limit, like Miss Moore would always say. And what are we doing here this evening, you ask? Well, we are here to inform St. Lucia. We have an upcoming general election, Dr. Secret.
Yes.
And we are making sure that St. Lucians vote The right government. Back in power. When I say the right government, the one that is there now.
Keep the government.
Keep the government. Thank you very much. Keep the government that is there to remain in power. Well, we are here to inform St. Lucia. What say you? We have an upcoming general election, Dr. Secret. And we are making sure that St. Lucians, well, that vote the right government.
Okay.
Back in power. When I say the right, you were just saying that one that is there now. Are you on? You on? You there?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You gotta turn that monitor off.
To remain in power. Well, we are here to inform St. Lucia. What say you? We have an upcoming general election, Dr. Secret. And we are making sure that St. Lucians, well, that vote the right government.
Okay.
Back in power. When I say the right, you were just saying that one that is there now. Are you on? You on? You there?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You gotta turn that monitor off.
To remain in power. Well, we are here to inform St. Lucia. What say you? We have an upcoming general election, Dr. Secret. And we are making sure that St. Lucians, well, that vote the right government.
Okay.
Back in power. When I say the right, you were just saying that one that is there now. Are you on? You on? You there?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You gotta turn that monitor off.
Dr. Sigwe, nous allons parler beaucoup créole.
Oui, oui, parce que moi-même, plus qu'à focuser à ce créole là, comme moi, avec Ring the Bell. C'est ça, nous plus là pour nous discuter et puis mon en créole là.
Bon, programme là, c'est un programme qui a informé mon en développement pays.
Oui.
Nous pas jamais un pays ni développement comme pièce gouvernement. Dernier 4 années, pièce gouvernement.
Non, pièce.
Pas ce John ex John Franchise.
Oui.
Mais nous avons mis time frame là. Pièce l'autre gouvernement pas fait rien.
Non.
So let me say no but finir sur computer et regarder des bails. Nous avons regardé, nous avons commencé par Gozile. Nous avons descendu pour arriver à Terre fort, nous avons bien descendu par sous Exoisé.
Oui.
Pour bagaille qui ça fait là.
Et nous ni assez gaz pour nous se faire
Nous ni gaz.
Nous ni assez gaz pour faire roulement.
Eh bien, nous ni gaz. Et dimanche, nous ni pour faire un tour.
Oui.
So nous ni un l'autre temps encore pour descendre. Plus après. Okay, so St. Lucia, while we are waiting for our moderator, he's trying to put things together. You could call us at 4560931 in the midst of the program. Okay, in the midst of the program, the lines are on. If there's anything you'd like to discuss with us, as a matter of fact, this is the purpose of this program. If you would like to call us, 4560931 or 4850931 to talk about whatever, what transpired at the house, something that's happening in your community, something that's going on around St. Lucia, if you're in New York and you want to ask something about your ID cards, have you been registered? Thank you very much. We have a call coming in.
Good night. Welcome to Crossfire. You're on the air with the crew.
Nice program. Always not started yet, but we are there listening.
Okay, great. We're on the air.
Calling from Larissus in Viewfort.
You're calling from Larissus in Viewfort?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, I would like to thank the government for answering my calls, which I called earlier, sometime in the week, for blocking the roads of Larissus on the highway.
Yeah.
The job was done perfectly.
Okay.
So we want to say thanks to you all.
Okay, great.
Larissus Viewfort.
Yes.
Anything happening down there in Larry Shoes?
No. Everybody's inside already.
Everybody's inside?
Okay,
No, when I
great.
say happening, I wasn't talking about now, like anything new, any developments.
No, nothing at all.
Okay. Well, there's a lot happening in your area anyway, in Beaufort.
Yes,
All right, beautiful.
but not Larissus.
Not
We
Larissus.
would like to have a little more at Larissus.
Okay, it's coming.
Okay? You all
All right.
take care.
Thank you very much.
Okay then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you for joining us on Crossfire. Now, guys, gentlemen, we heard yesterday something that has been the talk of the town today about something that went on. We have another caller. Good night, you're on Crossfire.
Hello.
Yes, you're on
good night,
Crossfire.
Good night, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, we're going to the House of Parliament.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Norbert, guys, sorry, not Norbert alone. The leader of the opposition is not a novice in Parliament. He's a veteran. And for him to move a motion for the House to be adjourned. I mean, something is wrong. People laugh at that. We take it for a joke. But something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is serious. Another out again, when you tell me a veteran politician, you represent the constituency for what, 20, 25 years?
Yeah, 24.
And you ask a question, what are the main somethings, a highlight in your political career? And you talk about having lunch with Nelson Mandela? I mean, if you ask a politician that question, the most likely answer is the transformation of the constituency you have represented for a certain number of years.
Well, caller, for some reason, he seems to avoid talking too much about his constituency because there isn't too much to say.
There's a reason for that, for him not talking about it.
But that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I mean, having lunch maybe call about, that'll be, let's put it a 3-hour period. You had lunch for 3 hours with President Mandela. Out of 25 years.
Caller.
Caller, bear with me. I want to ask you something. Have you ever heard the leader of the opposition make mention, stay with me, make mention of the various communities name by name in the House? Have you ever heard him call Bishop's Gap? Have you ever heard him call Parvi? Have you ever heard him call Black Mali? Tell me when last did you hear the opposition leader calling those communities or those areas area by area?
Never.
You know why that is?
Because there is nothing for him to mention.
And he doesn't even know the areas. Isn't that something?
Well, you know what? You know what?
Okay.
Bermuda, who calls there all the time, shouts out his original
Conway and Barnard Hill.
Barnard Hill.
That's right.
And he's not representing anyone.
Okay.
I mean, you cannot itemize.
No.
Nothing you have done that touched somebody's life.
If he doesn't know the area, the Honorable Guy Joseph calls his areas, his communities. The Honorable Herbert calls his communities. The Honorable Alan Shastney calls his communities. When last did you hear the opposition leader call Black Cartel, call Black Mali, call Menadil, call Parvi? When last?
Yeah.
Talking about Honorable Guy Joseph. If you call Honorable Guy Joseph now and ask him what is the highlight of his constituency, he'll tell you it's the transformation of the people's lives he has touched straight up.
That's right.
Amen. Okay. And he has often said that he lives in the area. I've been to the Honorable Guy Joseph's home on more than once, and no one comes to his home asking for anything. You know why that is, caller? He makes himself available in the constituency. So there's no need to come at his house. We need to ring the bell on that, Brother Norbert. If a candidate or a rep, okay, a rep makes himself so available to his constituents that they have no reason to come to his home or they live there. Okay?
Easy access. But gentlemen, this thing, you see that thing in that happened in the house asking for an event? That is serious. That is something serious. You are a seasoned politician. You're not a newcomer. You've been house in an opposition.
Well, we saw the video, and I was happy that Brother Norbert showed me the entire end of the video. And what I gathered from it, the Honorable Stephenson King had through making his presentation, and apparently it was the turn of the opposition to speak. I don't know which one of them. You have the full detail, Brother Norbert. You want to go down that road because...
Well, the Honorable Stephenson King had just finished delivering his address to the House.
Right.
And as is the procedure in the House, that you would have a member from the government speak, and whether it's one or two or whatever, but it's a back and forth kind of thing. And clearly, the government side, you could go back and watch the video. Go back and watch the video. You can see the Prime Minister is at his seat. The Honorable Stephenson King sat down. And then they're looking over to the opposition, expecting them to say, well, we'll have a half hour before we have to leave because the Speaker has made it clear that they will leave before curfew.
Right.
Right? It was about 7:10, 7:15, somewhere around there. You could see the Prime Minister looking over. He did his hands
Yes,
that
sir.
well. What are you all going
What
to
are
do?
you-
Is
yes.
somebody going to stand up? But everybody knows that there's a curfew and that the House has to end. So Philip J. Pierre stands up and says, well, Mr. Speaker, because if they don't stand, they know obviously that's what's next because of the time. So, Mr. Speaker, I move that the House be adjourned till 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You could see the look on the other side, like,
What's happening?
since when that's your role? Yeah? Since when that's your role?
We should have gotten that clip. You
That's
know.
exactly what. Gentlemen, when I look at it, I think the gentleman is under serious pressure.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And I think his title should be changed from Prime Minister in Waiting to Prime Minister that will always be waiting.
Now, caller,
Prime Minister, you said it earlier.
A
Prime
caller-
Minister in waiting
yeah,
a long time.
A caller called earlier and said that he did not make a mistake. Mr. Pierre did not make a mistake.
Uh-huh.
What he did, he tried something because he'd been waiting for the longest while.
To try it.
So he tried to see how it will look that being a prime minister to adjourn the house.
Right.
caller, you want to stay on or you want to hang up? Because I want to say something on that.
Yeah, okay, take the guys.
Okay. have
Okay,
a
thank
good
you very
one.
much, caller.
I love your outfit.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Thank you. Good.
Now, here's the thing, guys. I had a caller this morning and he said that if you paid close attention to the video, Ernest Hilaire, or Dr. Ernest Hilaire, because this morning I was warned that I should give everyone their rightful title, and from now on I'll give them the title. It's not something I would love to do, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay? Dr. Ernest Hilaire, someone called this morning and said, indicated to the leader of the opposition that he should make a statement. He didn't tell him what to say. So I am asking the question whether Ernest Hilaire put him up to that trap. You understand? Because he gave him a signal
Yeah.
into saying something. And I looked at the video and I saw him making a hand signal in the direction of Mr. Pierre.
As a leader.
So I don't know if he was pushed to do this or to make this statement, but you could have seen an indication from Dr. Ernest Hilaire in towards Mr. Pierre.
Well, we have a call via WhatsApp, so let's take that. Good night. It's Crossfire. You're on the air. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Calling from Beaufort
Good
North.
night.
Viewfort North. How's the signal down there?
I'm very good, very good.
Okay, great.
All right, I just want to say something on Mr. Pierre. You, gentlemen, you guys don't really have to blame Mr. Pierre. You know, Mr. Pierre was dreaming. Yeah, he was dreaming. So he was like dreaming. He was thinking like he was the prime minister. So I don't really blame him for that.
So he dreamt that he became prime minister.
That's right. That's
Oh, okay.
right. That's
All right.
right.
Well, I could understand that.
Yes. Yes.
I could
yeah.
understand
So I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This guy took me. This guy need a serious. He have a serious problem.
Well,
Very serious problem.
now that you're on it and you're calling from Beaufort North, I watched the entire presentation by the member, Mr. Jean-Baptiste, and he said that you guys has an impossible task. And when I say impossible task, he was meaning that you guys could never beat him up there in Beaufort North. Give me your views on that.
Well, Champagne, let me tell you something. If this guy think that he own the people up there own him, tell him think again. Because I don't think nobody in Beaufort own this guy. So and I want to say furthermore, he's not a god in Beaufort North.
Okay. I'm only telling you what I heard him say.
No, but that's in his mouth.
Okay, all right.
The man have freedom. The man is a typical Sengushan. He have freedom of speech.
Okay, all right.
He has freedom of speech.
Okay, that answers my question.
You understand? So nobody in Beaufort North owe this guy.
Okay, all right.
And if he is a god in Beaufort North, not my God.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
buddy.
Thank you very much,
Thanks a
caller.
lot. Beautiful. Have a good
Have a
evening.
good night.
All right.
Okay, that's it.
You heard it?
Right.
Bon, Champagne,
Oui.
ça m'a dit, on se
Okay, let's get that one. Good night, you're on the air.
Hello, good
It's
night.
Crossfire. Good night.
Good night,
Good
sir.
night.
Brother Champagne,
Oui, partner.
ring the bell secret.
Yes.
Bonsoir.
Yes, sir.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir tous.
Merci.
Oui.
Est-ce que ça m'a donné une petite question about St. Jude?
Oui.
Oui.
Ok. Bah, St. Jude, comment est-ce qu'on a planté jardin dans la ville là? Question, moi, je voulais demander. Ce petit temps que c'est qu'elle a fait là, pour côté où on va fleurir aller, est-ce que ça là, c'est qu'on a planté jardin?
Well, Master
Non, yo
Chaka.
pas faire ça. Si yo ka fait un hôpital neuf, yo ka ni un réserve septique tank là. Yo pas la GPS de l'eau en dedans.
Non, mais si tant qu'à overflow, on n'a pas de côté de
Qui ça a parlé about septic tank de l'hôpital là?
Yeah.
Monsieur, yo ni un bon plan pour faire ça yo ka fait là. Yo a calculé qui ça, qui gosse, qui ça yo ni pour faire, et tout ça a arrangé. Ça pas pièce by yo ni là pour chance.
Non, mais moi, moi-même gardé. Moi, juste qu'à parler, si la pièce voit flot qui sortit dans ce septique tank.
Non.
So, brother Kelly, ou moi ça ou te kata ba Vieux Saint Jude là, so peut-être capable about South Asia ou Vieux Saint Jude là.
Ouais, non, je sais que là, ma pas je là.
Non, mais non. Non, écoutez-moi. Non, écoutez-moi, peut-être ou ça ouais tank là overflow avant. Oui?
Ah non, ma goudou.
So, moi pas dit pas ça fait, hein, mais en qualité temps nous ka vivre là à présent. Si c'est mon ka fait qualité modèle l'hôpital ça, moi ka calculer yo ka mettre tout ça dans le cerveau yo pour yo faire septic tank qui ça ka pêcher ça fait.
Well, ok, moi je suis catcher le pico de waste pipe
Ok.
Oui,
Ok.
nous comprenons ça maintenant.
Ok,
Okay, merci.
bonsoir.
Merci, sir.
Oui.
And I mean, it's a relevant concern. I mean, but today's world,
Yeah,
you know.
I don't even think that's
Yeah. Anyway, we will talk. We want to go back to the house.
okay. We're gonna take one more call and then we'll go to
Yeah.
that. Good night. You're on the air. It's Crossfire.
Yeah, congratulations on Crossfire.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
You're looking brilliant there, man.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
How bright are we?
Boy, champagne.
That's Champagne's
Dazzling
idea.
me, man.
Huh?
It's dazzling me. You all know you're silent on the screen, eh?
We are silent
Yeah,
on TV.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
No sound on TV.
Now it comes, it drop. It just came and it's
Okay. So
Okay,
we'll
and
have
I'm
to-
getting messages saying the same thing right now.
Okay. So we'll speak with our camera crew.
Boy, champagne.
Yes, sir.
You notice how my minister destroyed all what they said?
Oh yes.
Honorable Guy Joseph.
Oh no, I
Oh,
didn't. You know,
absolutely. Yes, yes,
unfortunately, I didn't get to see him, but I will see him in the rebroadcast.
But you know that is the disingenuous nature of the opposition, because the information is there, and you know again, Guy Joseph had to bring it to their attention that there is the Standing Finance Committee, that they have an opportunity. It's not open to the public to ask all the questions that need to be asked, to ask and to get the answers that they need. They all have the estimates. They have that big book, that Bible of the finances of the country.
They choose what they want in it.
But you see the thing is,
Manipulate it.
but you see the thing is, and the Prime Minister said it again, they ask not one question in there because they don't want to get the answers. They want to have a theater in the house. They want to make a spectacle for their supporters, for their people out there, to give the impression that they're asking the pertinent questions that they don't know. How you all are doing this, we don't know. When they had the opportunity, and the Prime Minister has to embarrass them because they must be embarrassed unless they books are pack hot. Because he has to continually say over every time we come to the house, every single time. But it's on page 200 and this. It's on page that. If you go at the back and look at the index, you cross-reference with this. The same thing last year and year before with Ernest Ile about the funds for CIP. All the information is there.
Now, I don't know if you all noticed something strange in the house when Dr. Kenny Anthony was speaking, when he was making his contribution. You notice all the opposition chairs turned facing him.
Wow.
That's their leader. Their leader.
The teacher is at the blackboard. Teacher is at the
Everybody
blackboard.
get
Boy.
turn
Yes.
Teacher is at the blackboard.
while he's talking.
Yes. I hope Mr. Pierre learned something from that.
But you know, tonight, you know, I was watching it. And it seems like an eerie message when you look over to the opposition side. And I look particularly, I don't know, maybe I wasn't seeing right, Champagne, or maybe I was vague-laid. But when I looked over to the opposition side, the only person I could see there was Philippe J. Pierre.
Yes, when the Prime Minister was making his closing statements. There was one guy there, and then they walked in late.
Well, they had been there, but they keep...
Yeah.
That's when
you
he
know,
was making the rebuttal.
That's right.
I don't know. Oh, they walk out and they leave him there alone.
Yeah. You know, caller, I'll tell you something, and you have always said that when you call into the program that we must discuss the Labour Party. But I'll say something here. I don't think these guys want to be involved with politics anymore. No, seriously. You could see it. Like they cannot wait for the election. You know who's going to be very happy in losing? Philippe J. Pierre. He's going to say, thank you, God, finally I could put myself to rest. Seriously.
Dr. Kenny Anthony, Honorable Dr. Kenny Anthony, he gave a date, May something. The election is going to be called.
Yeah, they're going from month to month, though.
Well, wasn't it supposed to be November the 11th last year?
They're going from month to month.
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
You know,
another thing Dr. Ernest Hille said, he was talking about a field, the playing fields. But I wonder, isn't it the Labour Party that was in power 2011 to 2016?
Yes.
What did he do for the people of Castro South?
Well, there's nothing
They were
to show.
in power. We were in power 2001 to 2006 because I was part of it then. Okay, so I have to say that. What did Dr. Ernest Hille did for the people
Well,
of
he's
Castro
gonna
South?
he's gonna tell you he was.
loved so much.
He will tell you he was not the candidate. That's what he will tell you.
No, his own say. He told Dr. Luis he's only holding the seat for him. Now, if you're holding a seat for me, Champagne, and our party is in government, and I, as a policy maker holding a big job in England, wouldn't I support you? Do things for the constituency which I am coming and I want to represent?
Yeah, well, that's
Yes.
Tell me, Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Yeah?
Of course.
You don't see this man. I wonder why Champagne will talk tomorrow.
Okay, we gotta go there, caller. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Okay, we gotta keep the calls nice and short. Okay, make your point, and then we'll discuss over here because we have so many fans of everybody here.
Well, we could take all of our calls, but
Good night. You're on the air.
Gentlemen,
It's
you're off the
Crossfire.
TV.
Yes, we know that. That has been. We know that. That has been
prearranged.
Prearranged. There's a pre-scheduled program, but we're on Facebook, on facebook.com/SkyFMSLU.
And also GVD.
Okay, then.
And we're on, of course, Sky FM.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, we want to explain that for a little bit because we had been on for about a half hour, and the GBD TV is going to a rebroadcast with Sir Michael, myself, and Mr. Peter Josie, which is aired every Thursday. So we're going to be rebroadcast of this program when? On Sunday?
We'll let them know it's Sunday. I'm not too sure of the time yet, but we'll figure that out. But nevertheless, folks, you can get us on Facebook at facebook.com on the Sky FM Facebook page.
Okay, all right.
Did you pay to get on there, Champagne? Your subscription?
I heard it was coming.
It's free.
Don't know what it is.
Facebook.com/SkyFMSLU. All one word. Facebook.com/SkyFMSLU. And if you want to give us a call here in the studio, the number is 456-0931. And WhatsApp, if you want to send a message or call us on there. If you're out in the diaspora, we have lots of people on there. The number for WhatsApp is 485-0931. And, of course, all around St. Lucia. Champagne, you know, we're blazing into Soufrière and Choiseul and all over the south now with the brand new transmitter
I heard.
that was put in place.
I heard. Yes.
You could just put your hand up and you get the station.
That's right. That's right.
Good.
That's right.
You said it's facebook.com Sky FM.
Facebook.com/SkyFMSLU. Yes, slash.
Oui. So, gentlemen, let's go into what has been happening in this country. If the question of the SLP comes up, then we have no choice to discuss it. But for me, I always want to talk about the development of this country from where it was, where it is now, and where it's going to go. I want to start off with you, Dr. Secret, although Norbert is the moderator. The cul-de-sac bridge, when last you went down there? The groundwork that has been done down there.
I passed down. In fact, the time we went down, about 2 weeks ago, Sunday will be 15 days. Yeah, that was the time last
Well,
week.
you should make, when we're going on Sunday, you'll see a lot of work is going on down there. A lot. The road has been shifted. If you're not familiar with the area, you might get lost because the road has been shifted. Yes. They're doing some work on the river, on the banks of the river, and I think they're already trying to make that form with that roundabout. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful. This is what we want to see in a country.
Now, isn't that a development?
Beautiful development.
But why can't the opposition see that is development and stop talking about people not eating bridge and people not eating road? You know, I was well pleased. This afternoon I went to Balata and saw a number of young men walking on the road. That road has been bad for some time, but they are on the road. Cockpole is one place walking, and Fresh Start have the other piece. And these are people that live in the area at Balata. Young men. Because when I came there, I told them, hey, young men, I saw you all on the road walking, and I'd like to see that. He said, boss man, take a video. We want the opposition to see that we at work. You understand? And they are happy. They even asked me, where else can they go when they live there? Because the job is going to be completed soon. So the people are happy with the work that is being done in their community. I am certainly sure there are a lot of people from the Morne, Cul-de-sac, Bexon, those areas that are working at Cul-de-sac.
But ring the bell, moi pour nous cariter en Cassis East. Où ça tout le monde ça bosse à bail café de constituency yo. Ça moi pour pas ça fait ça. Docteur Sigwe ça bosse, ça a fait Timon, ça a fait Balata, ça a fait là. Non, but ça bosse, ça a fait Gozile Spider, a fait Chimon, ça même compter comme un Chimé Spider. Moi pour pas ça dire rien ça. Pour tu nous pas ça dire rien.
C'est tout rouge.
Mais pour tu nous pas ça dire rien.
Parce que l'homme qui a présenté Mamaï Marchand,
oui.
Il parle de pièce qualité ambition. Il parle de pièce qualité plan.
Oui.
Parce que mon cas de la vérité, mon cas de l'essentiel, Monsieur Philippe Samplan, il jamais pu dire assez. Parce que les mois passés, cul-de-sac, aujourd'hui, après-midi, toutes les mois passés en les routes là, et puis mon travail, manière travail là qu'a avancé. Travail là qu'a avancé et que ça a fait mon plaisir. Et puis pour ces noms ça là qu'a sorti, il a dit gouvernement c'est ici. De bout projet et bail mon l'argent. Ça pas qu'à prendre comme ça. Même projet ça là, même ces développement ça là, il pas dit moun pas qu'à manger chimie, moun pas qu'à manger bon. C'est même développement ça là qu'a mené employment. Employment qu'a mené manger en l'état.
Absolument.
Alors pas ça dit gouvernement, de bout projet et bail mon l'argent. Ça passe à fait. Alors nous ça dit merci mon Dieu, nous mis un bon premier ministre, il a une vision et il sait manière pour mener le pays.
Bon ça là ni mon là yo tant parole ça about double projet avec bail mon l'argent, yo content ça. Plus mon pas supposé joindre l'argent sans travail pas na.
Absolument.
OK?
Absolument.
Même si vous travaillez dans une go company ou ka signer papier ou ka parler à sous behalf company n'importe manière qu'on fait à subir compagnie ou supposé taper mais au passage just waiting like donne l'argent c'est pas comme ça là derrière
well c'est pas ça tout seul même si le gouvernement a try aider nous ni pour accepter puisque ni connaît ça Philippe J. connaît ça puisque les autres un gouvernement et que c'est travailler gouvernement te voulait en raise Qui ça yo dit? Qui ça yo dit? Gouvernement pas à payer l'année ça là. Ouest payer 3 l'année encore. Ouest payer ça. Pour qui raison? Avec la patte ni pièce Covid.
Yes.
Pièce Covid.
So, là, yo dit ça now à présent. Yo ka admite, yo ka accepter qui ça gouvernement ka dit l'argent pas ka entrer assez pour quitter gouvernement, continuer payer moun qui pas ka travailler. C'est pour ça cette liste ni pour ouvert pour faire économie, commencer faire l'argent, pour gouvernement commencer amasser l'argent pour ça payer moun pour moun vie travail, pour bail vie royal cette liste.
Absolument. C'est comme ça supposé.
Bon,
Est-ce qu'on a changé?
Oui.
Est-ce qu'on a changé, eh bien, sur les clips là, côté, Dr. Kenny Anthony dit, parti ça, joindre l'argent pour qui? Pour ça fait économie à marché.
Mais là, il y a raison pour ça, donc.
Là, il y a raison. Puisque ces banques-là, ils n'ont pas de cas, chance-les.
Bon, moi, je raison. Là, Dr. Anthony a tué en 2011. Le gouvernement Flambois, avant ça, a mis un fonds en place, un surcharge à ce airport là.
Oui.
Pour amasser l'argent pour développer l'airport là.
Airport redevelopment charge.
Là. Vous avez laissé beaucoup là, ça a 50 millions. Ou ça, un premier ministre pour mettre ces gens en campagne, living up pour l'élection 2011. Il dit, because you can collect l'argent under false pretense. So, il pas pour faire.
Pièce travail pas encore fait.
Où savent les noms de noms vous savez? 50 millions de personnes pas savoir.
No, but not only that. When they got into office, they raised water rate 66%.
Yes, 66.5.
And they also imposed a desilting levy for the dam.
That's right.
Did they do any work on the dam?
Not
but they continued collecting the money.
Even if members of his constituency didn't depend on the water from
they were
the
not
dam.
getting any benefit from the dam because they were not connected.
They had to be paying.
You said this man still has the guts to come into a house.
But hold on a second. What you said there is what joke the bell, is what shake up the brains. They were charging every water user in St. Lucia
Now,
a desilting levy.
Yes.
That's to desilt the dam.
Right.
yes.
But now, and the people in the south were not using, they were not connected to the dam. But now the government is charging 150 on a gallon of gas.
Yes.
They're saying that the fishermen are not using the
That's
roads
right.
to go and fish.
To
It's
go and
unfair.
fish, yes.
Est-ce pas même bail là?
Can you believe that? Now, that is one of the reasons why Beaufort North and South should not be voting for Labour because they have been paying for the silting. My people, Beaufort North, my cousins, my aunts, you all should not be voting for Moses Baptiste because, Mr. Manabat, it's just like you operating your taxi in Grosile.
Pangado fait mon taxi, hein?
Okay, all right. Okay. From Grosile to Castries. But to fix the Sufra road, I am going to put a tax on the taxi drivers. Whereas you're not using, they zone the country.
That's right.
They zone the country, you operating from Castries to Soufre. That one operating from Beaufort to Castries. Grosile to Castries. But they put a tax for them to fix the Soufre road. And they say Soufre road. Why should they tax you when you are not part of the zone to go into Soufre?
Well,
it's like the people from the north paying.
No, well,
We have a WhatsApp. Let's take that one.
there's
We have
something
WhatsApp.
called a national tax. We'll get
Let's
back
take
to
that one. Good night. You're on the air. It's Crossfire. Good night.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Champagne.
Good night, my friend. What's going on?
Champagne.
Yes, good night. Good night. I'm there. I could hear you. I'm good.
I was watching the
Caller, just hold on a second there, caller. Your call's a little distorted. Just give us a minute and you can call back in there. But I think it's something on your end. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll call back.
We could not, we were
Yeah, he's a
unable
little
to hear you.
distorted.
I was talking about what you were saying about the tax. There's something called a national tax.
If it is a national tax,
Well, it's supposed to be.
I can understand.
Well, if you put a tax on the fuel, it has to be a national tax.
Good night.
Understand?
You're on the air. It's Crossfire.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, sir.
Brother Champagne.
Yes, sir. Good night.
How you say, my boy?
I'm doing good. We could hear you much better now.
Yeah, because I was checking for that line and they tell me I couldn't get through, so I tried
Oh,
it
yeah,
now.
we had it off. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
well, like
you.
I was saying, I was watching the debate today, and what baffles me is that the opposition is saying to the government that they are building too many roads, right? If the government is building too many roads, and they are asking for roads in the community, so what are you talking about?
Well, are they asking for roads in the communities?
Yes. But if they're building too many roads, give people money. So why ask for roads in your community?
But people don't eat roads. People don't eat roads.
Exactly. So why asking government for roads?
But that's the hypocrisy, you see, Colin?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. Whatever the government does, they will find something, even if they contradict themselves 2 minutes later.
Yep. What I see in them fellas, they're scared, They're
But
scared.
I will tell you something I heard from Dr. Anthony, and I could not believe I was hearing it. When he said, the FBO building is ugly, St. Jude's is ugly. So then I stopped for a minute and I asked myself, well, let us see one of yours that is ugly.
Yes.
Yes.
I was asking myself the question, well, okay.
He said, anyway, it's an ugly building.
So listen to that. Okay. So it's just like you have a girlfriend, but she's very ugly. A guy tell you, boy, from who really let the belly man pan your farm.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are saying the buildings are ugly. So let us criticize the one you built and let us say it's ugly as well.
Yeah.
But you don't have any.
I listened to Musa. It's a disgrace. These guys have nothing, Champagne.
Oh boy,
Nothing.
It would be a shame, and I'm not saying that to come down on any of our voters, but it would be a shame to see these guys back in
I don't see the
Parliament.
reason people have to vote for them.
I'm telling you.
But you know what, caller?
People might feel offended when I say that, but like I always say, Champagne, you know me.
No, you speak your mind.
That's your partner there.
I know who it is. You speak your mind.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
All right, my brother.
I'll be brief.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care, sir.
But Champagne, you know what it is there. Ernest Hille in the house today is calling the road projects, which have been in the works for years. He's calling the works projects election projects, an election gimmick. But I want Ernest Hille and the SLP. This is shame because number one, the government was elected into office for a 5-year term. What is Ernest Hille suggesting? That the government should stop doing anything 1 year before elections.
This I could vouch for. This is a shame. That is a
These
shameful
guys forget
statement.
elections 2016.
Because, you know what? We're not even going to discuss that too much. Next Thursday, God willing, we're going to come up with all what the government have done in 2016 and 17. Is that a good thing we could come up with? Because I knew one of them, shamefully, would come out and say these are election projects. This government has been working, Dr. Secret, from 2016. Okay? And it has not stopped. They have not stopped.
But
And Ernest Hille knows that.
Champagne, let me just add up on that. There is a regular caller to Andre Paul show and also Newspin. He used to cry and ask the government to pay him. That was a contract that was given to him 2 days before general election of 2016. 2 days before election. What day would that be? Election was a Monday. 2 days before election. That's a Saturday. Sunday, Monday morning in Kabish, the 5th of June. 5th of June, that's a Sunday. Monday was the 6th of June, which is election day. The 5th of June, there were people walking up to 3 o'clock in the morning at Kabish, that Apla Road. 6 o'clock polling stations opening. 3 o'clock there were people walking on the road. At Rodney Bay, Redri, the same thing. So how do you call that? We are months away from elections. So what are they talking about?
Good night, you're on the air.
A ridiculous statement.
But something everybody can remember, and I remember it specifically. I was not dreaming. I was not under the influence. Right there by the market, the vendor's arcade. There was nothing wrong with the sidewalks. Broken up.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys fixing sidewalks all about the place with flashlights.
Good evening.
Good night, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. Good
Crossfire.
night.
Who should pay McDowell by Dr. Sigwe?
Doctor.
So, by flashlight, people were fixing the sidewalk. I saw it myself.
I saw it.
Right there by the market.
I saw it.
At the junction there by the vendor's arcade.
Let me say something on that. All of us have been involved in this thing for too long. We have often heard about contracts on the eve of election. Now, there may be some works being done, maybe in the next couple of months. But what I'm saying here, this government has been working from 2016. This is the difference. And we are going St. Lucia, and I thought Brother Norbert was going to bring some of the project that was done from 2016, 2017, 2018. But we are going to make sure that I could even tell you some. The Allen Bush, Sir Michael, like they call it Sir Michael Highway down in Miko South, 2017 or 2018. The amnesty, the VAT reduction, all of these things. What year were these things done?
Yeah.
Good night. You're tuned in to Crossfire. You're on the air. Good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Yes,
Good night, sir.
For me, I have a problem with the way the Speaker of the House tolerates Ernest Hille. I think he's going way overboard. And it has been repeatedly behaving this way. And then the Speaker tolerating it. Because he insists that that the GDP is over 100%. And they have proved it to him that it's not so.
That's what he does.
When talk about Facebook, he saw it on
That's
Facebook,
what he does.
on online, and then when a story, you cannot prove it, and you're still repeating it over and over. The Speaker, I don't know. For some reason, the man keeps saying certain things, and the Speaker just tolerating the man all the time. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. We'll discuss that.
Yeah.
You know, that is the problem. Ring the bell, will come to you in a second. That's the problem. Ernest Hille can get the information. And this is the disingenuous nature again of the opposition. You can call the Ministry of Finance. You are a member of Parliament.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that.
Because it's going to kill the argument.
Yeah, that's not what they want to do.
So he has to pretend not to have access to the information, not to know, so he can continue perpetuating the narrative that he wants to push out there to the people.
You in a Bible?
Oui, ça me veut dire, je Davidoff. Moi, je regardé monsieur Mpichon en Kaipalama. Et puis, il était avait un petit powerball dans voilà, madame Polius. Là, il a parlé about chimé en lemon. Là, monsieur Chonet d'autre gouvernement. Il va pas essayer de faire assistance. So, là, il y a un petit track. Là, il y a un petit track under T2. Alors, là, madame Ferrapolius allait en lemon, il va chimé under Violeta. Alors, il mettait bagaille à place, et puis il criait coup de main, et puis il fait un wall, et puis il va manger chimie en manière, pour obtenir un soulagement. Alors là, mon capitaine Sean Edward de Kaipala m'a dit, Madame Ferra, parce qu'elle a tenu un coup de main, Madame Aïcha est des petits blocs. Il a vu ça en puis il a dit, Madame Ferra Polius, est-ce que c'est ça, maman, il me disait? Moi, j'avais un message dans la baille, M. Sean Edward. Chimère, Madame Ferrapolius, baille, c'est mon assistance en là. C'est mon apprécié travail là qui fait là. Passer ou mener un savon bleu, et un savon l'odeur, et des petits patchés brise.
Ok. Nous sommes d'accord?
Oui. Good night, caller. You're on the air. It's Crossfire. Good night. Oh. Yes. You're a little distorted, caller. Can you call back? You're a little distorted. Okay.
Well, if you have this one up and we can't get this one, it wouldn't make any sense.
Very good. We'll sort that out.
Okay.
So ring the bell, you were saying.
Problem là, mon MP pour Demirov. Problem là, mon MP en Demirov, qui a try, il voulait connaître 7 c'est mon top. Et nous venons inviter en Demirov. Chaque tile, les bas opposition, ils ont toujours dit que ils étaient en gouvernement. Ils étaient tout bagaille en place. Ils ont signé tout contrat. Si vous avez signé contrat, pour qu'ils savent pas faire.
Kudesa, What about health center? Il parlait about tout là.
Il dit l'argent health center, là, il était là, l'argent health center déjà là. Mais
L'argent était là.
L'argent était là, mais il n'est pas jamais sorti. Les health center a brûlé. Il n'est pas jamais sorti avec fait pièce explanation.
So, pas moi comprendre ça. Si, parce que moi écouté tout adresse là. Moi écouté toutes ces adresses là, les monter là, les monter. Si le gouvernement a fait un health center avec l'argent, ça tape quoi available. Là pas pour ni document, parce que l'argent là, ou pas quoi là ni document, castet plan, qui manière plan et contracteur. Bon pour tu pas amener ces documents ça pour c'est mon.
Je pas ça mucho rien parce que c'est mon chose yo qu'a fait.
Belle power. Si vous dit l'argent là doc.
Oui.
OK? Ou dit health center c'est la richesse ben la richesse. Ou dit health center la richesse l'argent est là. So, si l'argent là, that means tout plan supposé là comment?
Oui, on peut commencer.
OK? Contracteur tout bail, so l'argent là. Pour tu pas monter nous un document qui state mi côté nous ni tout document en place.
C'est l'habitude yo.
So just ka dire bail pour dire bail mon supposé quoi?
Oui, c'est l'habitude yo.
Hein?
Mais ça m'en ka ouais. Les yon gouvernement ba un contract. Pour connaître contract. Et aussi un contract là. Copie contract là on est supposé un ministère. So si travail ça pedli ou ça dit well OK, en tel ministry infrastructure eh ben CDP moi ni en copie là ou ça jeune. Mais pièce côté pas ni c'est pas ça.
Nous ni encore.
Good night, you on the air. It's Crossfire. Oui.
Problème moi c'est si c'est le bon parti là yo Mr. Snack. Yo pas ka yo stable Mr. Snack pour yo di rien. Moi trouve c'est UWP a ka encourage yo pour yo faire power yo asu debate. C'est n'est just mene Mr. Snack chaque là yo ni debate et bien bagay. So mettez Mr. Snack là, so yo pas ka venir avec yo pas rien. L'autre bagay là moi vle dire si c'est à présent yo commencer ouais Ernest il dit c'est chimé qui ça. What's about by là yo de ka faire vieux for administrative
building now way.
Parce que direct élection.
You they spend $10 million on like.
Just mene monsieur Snack depuis zone bay. So personne
Yo bagay là. Bay madame no bella pour ça. Bay madame no bella pour ça. Because champagne chaisan. Oui, bay go bella pour ça. Oui. Because d'autres n'y a problème et puis Mr. Snack.
Oui, mais n'ayant tout.
Et depuis d'autres vini, depuis d'autres ouais là. So fait Mr. Snack en guest en galerie.
Oui.
Même si vous pas mettez un box là pour ce officiel là, mettez en galerie. So depuis d'autres présence li, d'autres bagay ouais.
Depuis au archivé à yo ça aussi.
Ça fait des plus. On les pas parti. Ma supporter yo, ma jamais supporter yo. Mais bagay là qui fait me désapprêter en ces noms ça là. Ex supporter yo. Yo ka pour monsieur Snack servi pas chaud. Considérez monsieur Christopher Hunt pas ni maman, il pas ni papa et lui même pas ka vinn fille.
Qui m'ont dit?
Christopher Hunt.
As un ministre? Non mais moi pas connaître qui m'ont dit.
Pas connaître Christopher Hunt?
Non.
Christopher Hunt c'est Yish Julian Hunt.
Oui?
Qu'a joué et qu'a insulté moun en l'air TV avec radio station.
En l'air TV?
Mot sale même.
Ça va vous?
Pas vrai.
En l'air TV?
Autant ça m'en là.
Good night, you on the air. It's Crossfire.
Good night.
Good night.
How you doing?
We're doing good, thank you.
Oh, something I love your fellas.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And that's Cassie in the house.
Cash with this, the next Fortuna. All right, Fortuna, next Fortuna, all the way. All the way.
Now let me tell you, the Labour Party keep on saying about we not eating the road. What about the last election? When close to election and they give how many contracts dealing little footpaths doing roads, and after it, we UWC that have to pay for all the mess.
All of it, all the contracts.
All the messes
All.
we have to pay for it. People do all kind of magic and we are supporting them
Yep.
to fight for their money.
People,
and they don't do all this
that's
mess.
right. A lot of people came at the city council. People came everywhere and they were demanding the money. I know a particular taxi driver that had 4 contracts and he made noise like crazy. And you know who he is?
That time people was eating road.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I will tell Pierre, well, you have to be Pierre.
Caller, have you ever heard Mr. Pierre? Because from now on, I'm giving them their full title, the Mr. and the Doctor. Someone called me this morning. They said I shouldn't just call them their name. I have a lot of young people watching, so give them their respect. So Have you ever heard Mr. Pierre mention the communities of Castries East when he's making his presentation? In the Bishop's Gap, in the Boulevard, in the Black Malay, in the Two Rouge, in the Arundel Hill. Have you ever heard him make mention of these communities?
Not at all.
You know why?
Why?
Because he doesn't know the communities.
So there you go. The only
Okay.
time he knows the community when it's election close,
Okay.
to pull the people and to
Okay.
look. Why Marley, he can be a Marley, my Marley.
Yes, Dudu.
All the way, 14
Yes, we should have
all
played.
the way.
That's right. All right, Dudu.
You'll have a blessed night.
Okay,
Now,
thanks a
bring
lot.
the bell before I forget. There's a certain contractor that was building a road just before the election eve. And when the Labour Party lost the election, he carried all his materials. He took all and go. That happened somewhere in Babono.
His materials?
Apparently, it's his materials.
Good night, you on the air. It's his Crossfire.
Yeah, good night, Brother Norbert.
Good night.
Sparkling, good night.
How are you, Dudu?
To nice, brother, good night.
Yeah, good night, good
Good
night. You are champagne laughing.
Brother Norbert,
Yes, sir.
when the SLP win the next election, enter that government house they have to go to
Yes,
pray.
remember that mighty Kadi.
When, if?
So what we'll have to do, we have to remove, when they win, we have to remove the government.
Well, I don't know how that's going to happen. They will not. Well, you'll have a constitutional crisis because they will not be able to be sworn in.
Well, I got different word yesterday
You
because
don't see that's why they're not interested anymore?
Mr. Peter Josie said he has an obligation to swear them in. So he has to do it. Okay? All right, Dudu.
Thank you very much. So I want to say something, folks. Go out and get registered to vote. Check your ID card. If it's expired, go out and get it renewed. Now they're renewing your ID card for 10 years, Champagne.
Oh, wow. That's good.
I just got mine,
I just did mine last year.
renewed on Monday.
Nice.
Well, I went in last week and they said come back on Monday. I went in on Tuesday and I got my new ID card. It's brand spanking new. Jikni Bayan Leka Clay. Where was that?
I want to go back with you, Dr. Secret, because we are living in a country of law. You said there's someone on national radio who hosts a program who's cussing, you said, on national radio and television, cussing?
Yes. Mo Salah.
Insulting words on national television?
Yes.
No, man, but that is unacceptable.
And that is why, you see, the callers that are calling and say, tell Dr. Secret, go and pay this and go and pay that.
We don't want
Okay?
to.
That is why. No, pagas peta no. That is why they came so hot with that thing, trying and make me feel bad and all that. Because I said, the people that are cursing, insulting people on radio and television, if the government, if they cannot be sued, that those radio and television stations should be shut. Okay?
Okay, we
It
have
is
a
happening.
caller.
It's hard for me to believe that.
On
Someone's
WhatsApp.
cursing.
Good night. You're on the air. It's Crossfire.
Good evening.
Yes, good
gentlemen.
evening.
How
That
you
sounds
doing?
much better. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Yes, caller. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Okay. Tonight, this afternoon actually, anybody watch Ernest Hill when he gave his contribution?
Parts of it.
Especially to the ending.
Yes.
The ending where he started raising and saying about that man is so dangerous. That man is not good for St. Lucia. The man just came there and the man just started raising figures, contractors getting this and contractors getting that.
Out of Fine.
And you could see like that, you know, he have no proof. He has nothing. And he just raised something in the house there to stir up confusion on the outside of the house. And when he finished now and the Prime Minister's turn to answer him, he couldn't have sit to listen to what the Prime Minister had to say.
They always run away.
He couldn't face the Prime Minister. He couldn't face the Prime Minister. So I noticed what he did. He just started putting a problem up there and he ran.
But you see, that's the strategy.
Everything that come out of their mouth they know the base, run with it.
That's the strategy.
So he cannot stay there and face the Prime Minister to get the answer. He ran. And the Prime Minister now is speaking and they are sending the answers back at him and he's not there. You know? So,
that is right, caller. That is right. That's right. That is right, caller. Give her the bell. Give her the bell. That's right. That's right.
And he and Kenny Anthony, the two of them, they ran outside because the couple done already. The division is there already, so they ran outside.
That's right. You had this Ayonipudi.
You had this Ayonipudi. You had this Ayonipudi. You have made a confusion. So tomorrow morning when you get up, you must.
That's the news. That's right.
Contracts were given to.
That's right. That's right, caller. That is right. In Marigo. Oui.
And a $15,000 over cost overrun. They didn't have nothing to say on that.
You pay for
This afternoon I heard him on Calix. I don't usually listen to these things. I was just browsing.
You heard him on another show. On another show. On another show. On another show.
Another show.
That's right.
On another show. Right. And is he that talking about bridge in cul-de-sac and cost of bridge and land they gave to what's his name? The Taiwanese Chinese man. And is he that in it? So I put my little comment for him. I tell him what I have to tell you is $650,000 for the 2x4. 650 whatever $1,000 for the 2x4. That was my comment and I hung up. Case closed. Talk about yours. Don't watch what that is happening. What you doing? What? This fella just letting me sick. But you'll have a good show, gentlemen.
Yes.
Continue pressing, continue pushing.
Thank you very much, caller. But
you.
you know, before Champagne, just something there. This caller is consistently on the button.
All the time.
And what she said here tonight is exactly the strategy that is used. And exactly what she said is exactly what happened. They will spew their nonsense in the house, incorrect information. They're using the house to put out their alternate reality. And when the answer is coming for them, when the rectification is coming from the Prime Minister, they disappear. So you know what? The other people who they have put the message out to will be distracted from what's going on because no moi pala poisa naife a lot bagay leo vie naila. That is the strategy, and that was so aptly described by this scholar. 100% accurate. You know, Champion, I tell you, I have confidence in my people in St. Lucia that they are not dumb, and that these elections, I am telling you, Champion, I've been around for a while. It wasn't last week. It wasn't 100 years ago, but I've been around for a while. And I'm telling you, I feel it, and I see it, and I'm smelling it, that the people of St. Lucia are going to teach these guys a serious lesson next election. And some people say 17 not. I'm not calling 17 not. I'm calling 20 not.
I agree. Yes.
Good night, you're on the air. It's Crossfire.
Yeah, good night, Norbert, Champagne.
Good night, sir.
The secret.
Yes, good night.
Good night, good night. Let
Good
me
night.
tell you, I watched the debate today, and I'm disappointed. Educated men, most of them have doctorates, some of them is expert in agriculture, some of them is an expert in aviation, and what comes out, the quality of the debate is something to be seen, because I mean the Prime Minister rebuttal and the rest of the members in the House, these fellas haven't reached that level yet.
Colin, so you want to ask them, that expertise have they disseminated all of that expertise to their constituents? Because you see the constituencies in the same old-fashioned way. So all of this brilliance, all of this education, what have you done with it for your constituents? Look at the constituencies. Look at Beaufort North.
Exactly.
Look at Castries South. Look at Beaufort South. Look at Labrie. What have you done with all this brilliance, with all this education you claim to have?
Champagne, these fellas have no depth. You talk about education and depth. These fellas have nothing to offer St. Lucia.
You know, it's okay to go to a university, sit there, learn something, come back with a master's, a PhD. This is well always applauded. But put it into use, especially if you're running for office. My goodness, the people trust in you. They say you have this brilliance, at this level of education. So let us elect this guy or this lady. And when you come in there, what do you do with it?
Man,
come on, man. Come on. Caller, I listen because I have a reason to listen. I always listen, even if before I was on radio, but even more so now, I must listen. And all we all do.
Yes, we are.
Because we don't want to be trapped. Someone calls in and say, oh, did you hear this, did you hear? And we don't have an answer. Although I didn't see everyone today. But when you listen to some of the things that comes out of those mouths, you want to ask yourself the question. A guy said for Beaufort North, we had all the water project arranged from 2015. So it's going to take you more than 5 years to put a project together. The Honorable Alan Shastney, it is ongoing, the water project of Beaufort North. Before 2 years. Okay? They broke ground sometime when, 2018 I think it was, and we have that water project on stream. So it had to take you guys 5 years to put it together.
Let me say something to you, Champagne.
Go ahead, my friend.
When I look at the contribution Alan Bousquet has made to the house, the quality, and yet still they say he can't talk English.
He couldn't speak, that's what they said.
He cannot do that.
Yep.
Everybody making fun of him.
Yeah?
Right? 30 years ago, Snack did something, and you know, the fellas are haters. You understand me? They can't get over that.
Cannot get over it.
They can't get over that.
And caller.
Have not made, and you're right to match that with the development of the constituency, because these sellers have nothing to offer.
And none of them currently were there in the House or at the time with the Labour Party when Sir Neville Snack went across to the UWP. Exactly. None of them currently, none of those that are there now were part of the party. So it just goes to show you, what the Labour parties consist of. They roll over hate.
The quality of debate is yet to, I cannot understand it, and the fellows, can he come and make fun in the house? These fellows are not serious, and that's what my tax money going to these guys, man.
Well, caller, this is one of the reasons where St. Lucians should not vote for the Labour Party. You cannot stand up as a man to face what is going on in St. Lucia. You cannot discuss anything for your people out there to understand. So it means that I do not want to represent you. I have a chance in the house, but every time I have to walk away, do not put those people back in the house, because they're going to walk away. And not just the members of parliament they're walking off of, the entire supporters. Because they're not walking out on me. They're walking out on the people that put them there.
Norbert had mentioned it the other day, and I say, well, Norbert going too far. But I agree with Norbert. These fellows have nothing to offer. Nothing to offer.
Caller, one thing.
In the back pocket.
One thing I can tell you, Sir Neville Snack gave a beautiful front speech, one of the best I've heard. He highlighted every single thing that is supposed to happen in this country, from education to health to security, every single thing. That was one of the best front speeches in my mind, ever.
I won't doubt that.
Ever.
Let me tell you something. I'm yet to see a quality debate from these fellas.
Yeah.
A quality debate, and especially people. And it's high time Hiller is a poison to our politics.
Hila has been fooled by his education, and I think not maybe his education.
That's a little bit of a
I
conundrum.
think that's
right there.
yeah. I think he's been fooled by his degree, and the expectation from him is that every St. Lucian is supposed to embrace him because he has that level of education. That's not how it runs in politics.
Exactly.
And I'm happy that you brought up the point earlier with Alan Busquet.
Yes.
They said he could not pronounce Ferty. He said Fatty. But look at how he transformed Babono.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yes.
All right.
My brother, let me tell you, anyway, these fellas have nothing to offer, I could tell you.
Yeah.
When you could take information off an internet, the GDP is 100%.
And
you didn't say that.
Yes.
You didn't say, who did think he fooling?
Yeah. I heard him say it.
Anyway,
Kala,
really
before you go, we had a little tour up Castries South. We went to Lacroix, Bassin Joseph, and that area. And somebody told us from Ticolon, the last person who fixed that road to go around down into Lacroix, Ticolon into Lacroix, the last person that was Brafit. Yes. John Odlum came, Robert Lewis came, plus Hilaire, and when Hilaire sees somebody fixing some potholes, he getting vexed because he feels they should come and ask him permission to do it. And that's nonsense. He have not represented the place. But all he can say that our people are hungry and they're dying.
Yes.
Anyway.
Let me tell you, I'm so disappointed.
Not just you, Kola. Not just you.
Debate. These sellers have nothing to offer.
Not just you.
My Prime Minister better come present his budget to dummies and walk out.
Like a caller said earlier, maybe the Prime Minister should bring in Sir Neville Snack in the house every time.
Yes,
and then to chase them away.
When the cat inside, they run.
Yeah. All right, caller. Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right,
have a good evening.
Good.
Ça, docteur Secret dit là, about Ernest Hilaire là. Il a raison. Ernest Hilaire est Sean même manière. Regardez Chimé l'appel là. Sean Pabay c'est mon pièce qualité assistance.
Yes.
Il pas fait pièce gamme. Et quand Premier ministre nous dit là, bail ces gens l'appel là en soulagement. Il a mené supporter à les Chimé pour connaître pour dire travail pas fait. Et il ouais travail Jacques a fait.
You have to ask yourself, are these guys for real?
Ah ouais.
Are they for real? Are you just supposed to be a representative and just don't do anything for your constituents? I don't understand it.
But here's the question. And I want us to look at, because you see, again, I always have to keep coming back to this. The past. And they don't want you to talk about the past.
No.
Because the past is going to reveal too much. And what I want the people of St. Lucia to do, what I want all of you to do here, and everybody listening in the diaspora and on the air, and those of you watching on Facebook, let's conduct a little experiment. Let's go back in time. Way back. Not so way back, but way back. Back into time. Maybe a few more years than some of the people listening tonight. And let's remember Romanus Lancico in Castries East.
Yes.
And look at the level of representation, the transformation, the work that was done in Marsha, in Castries East, by Romanus Lancico, and compare that to the representation of Philip J. Pierre. Simple question. Go back in the past. Don't even look into now, past today. Don't look past today. Just look back the 25 years that he's been there.
You know how they used to call him? Minister of Television. Because everything he do in his constituency, that would be on television. The only thing Mr. Philip J. Pierre can talk about is the toilet. A toilet alone for 25 years.
You sure?
What else? In Masha?
Good night, you on the air. It's Crossfire.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Robert. How
Good
you
night,
doing?
sir. I'm good. How are you?
All right. Labour Party will always walk out in the House because that's the only time they can walk out is when they're out of power, okay? So the moment they are the one that win the election, they will sit in the house because they are laughing when they win the election. That's all they're doing in the house, laugh. But the moment they lose, they will walk out every day. That's the same way they will walk out. They will never stay in the house. Okay? So what we have to do right now, the people of St. Lucia have to teach them a lesson. That's what they have to do right now.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, caller.
Brother Norbert, let me put a challenge out there for the Labour Party supporters. And we know most of you guys will vote for the UWP this year. We'll do that after the call.
Good night, you're on the air. It's Crossfire. Good night. Okay, we have one on WhatsApp. Let's take that one. Good night, you're on the air. It's Crossfire. Good night.
Good night. I just called to see you're not in the TV. You was there. I just see that thing just go blank.
Yes, we have another program that's on from 8:30. We're on Facebook.com/SkyFMSLU, and we're on the radio 93.1.
Okay.
Well, I'm listening to you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
So I was saying I want to put a challenge out there to the Labour Party supporters. And I know thousands of them will vote for the UWP this coming election. I know that for a fact because there are a lot of beautiful, smart Labour Party supporters. They're not all about that nonsense about red. I know that for sure. And they could see the changes that are coming to St. Lucia, some of the changes that have already been made. I want for them to call 4560931 or 4850931 and say to us, give us a reason why they feel
he should be
that
re-elected.
the SLP should form the next government. And we are friendly guys here. I'm reaching out to you guys tonight. Call us here and give us a reason, just one. We don't want two or three. A reason why you as a Labour Party supporter, a good reason, believe that the SLP should form the next government. And we're waiting for that call.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, no,
Seriously.
we are waiting for that call. I mean, you have to ask yourself, what would make a guy or a lady get up from their bed on a Monday morning and go to the polls and vote for the Labour Party? What reason? For what reason? Outside being a loyal supporter. Someone that is on the outside looking in, saying, well, you know what? Let me go and vote for the Labour Party. You must have a reason why you're going to vote for the Labour Party. Because you have not seen anything. Up until now, these guys have not said to St. Lucia what their purposes are, what they will do. One person said, the leader of the opposition said, he's going to build a smart city in Cul-de-sac. So let's take that with a grain of salt. So you have not done anything in the constituency that you represent, 25 years, but you're going to deny it, and you're going to go in someone else's constituency and build a smart city. I mean, where's the logic in this? Come on. We have a call coming in.
Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real with Champagne, Dr. Secret, Ring the Bell, and yours truly, Norbert Williams. It's Crossfire.
Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
Ring the bell, Champagne, and Dr. Secret. Ring the bell, c'est Clendon qui là. Problème de ces books ça, Chess.
Ok, Clendon.
Yeah, Chess, you a problème de yo. Qui laisse qui qui élection, les SLP perd la dernière élection de 2016.
Kenny Anthony, Dr. Kenny Anthony.
Bon, so après que l'élection il perd, et qu'il pas fait un vieux fort, il tue vieux fort. Après ça, il pas complain.
Oui.
Bon, on le dit il est là-bas. Il est plus gros. Jockey qui a couillé un cheval sans indication, il va demander pour belle offre. Bon, ça c'est beaucoup ça qu'a fait après ça. Il y a quand même moun couillon. Et n'a qui est langue de c'est ba n'a follow. Moi simplifier tout le n'a follow pays, moi n'a coûté. Moi me sans UWP, n'a dit ça lève tout le monde.
Oui.
Mais toi avec là moi qui a fait là pour yon l'année 2 mois mon descendre pour Covid là. Mais si mars ça c'est exclusif là encore. So si yo ba ka light là qui devant yo a. Di yo femme yeux yo.
Mais quand la moi vle yo ba moi raison. Moi vle yo ba moi raison pour qui ça qui ma OK. Moi vle yo di Champagne pour vote by Labour mais ba moi raison pour ti man kay ni pour vote by Labour. Ba moi raison. C'est ça moi vle yo faire.
Ou vle raison.
Ba moi raison.
Raison c'est si yo ça fait ça Chasney a fait na vote by.
Mais c'est ça moi ça sent belle tu raison.
Oui, c'est bon parole.
Ça sent bon raison.
C'est raison qui là. Oui.
Ou ka changer l'état chimien orienté comment?
Garçon, ba dou an bagay. Ba parler bason là présent. Pour qui ça quoi moi langue était over 25 years ka monta présent. C'est fou les bagay. Tata me dit moi pas ka quitter moi cette lycée because he was côté mon kameko. Il ka mettre comme moi dans chimie qui pas bon. Because depuis c'est book ça apprend. Yo venu en distraction dans pays. Bon moi monter ici avec moi ouais différence là. Avec les moi vieux descendre cette lycée en bas les bas. Moi dit en bas pour bon ici. Vous comprenez? Bagay pour bon. C'est pour ça tuer fig là, yo fait moi courir.
Ah ouais.
Pour mon pour partir tout comment. Papa moi de travail construction. Maman qui en fig. Fig là mort.
Oui.
Ça voulait ça devait me faire arrêter.
Pas s'arrêter hein.
Vous comprenez? Bon c'est pour ça pas continuer. Tout strike qui était fait 1990. Qui laisse qui mène strike?
Yo ça tout ça. Yo ça tout bail.
Oh OK.
Yo ça tout bail.
Nous essayons de fuir ces moun nan. Yo kwa ces moun nan pas ouais. La femme ça pas because ou pas ouais stupide matin qui fait scaler moun. Vous comprenez? Et que ces moun nan ten bail calé, yo pas assise et yo pas prendre temps yo et catchile. Yo doit scanner parler. Il est même c'est balay qu'a fait. Il est juste une élection dernière fois là, il est pas connu 5 années.
Ah, bail belle là bon. Il pas ni pièce SP ouais. OK? Kola Mr. Just come at go show.
Badou ça. Philippe Diepierre, les Philippe Diepierre monté pour élection. Philippe Diepierre oui. Les Philippe Diepierre monté pour élection. Attends-moi.
Oui, nous attendons.
Les Philippe Diepierre monté pour élection, right? C'est ça, Edward Belasté monté by W. Edward Innocent monté sous fouillère. Ou on dit dans là pour combien de temps, right? Moi, juste que vote premier l'année, moi, je vote cette ici. Et pour la combien de temps? Et pour pas une pièce d'expérience politique, pour pas aller à l'école Bétis, mon cap pour la terre. Moi, je dis un bagage. Moi, je dis un bagage. Parce que mon pas supposé dire mon ça yoni. Moi, quand on a radio station ici à l'Angleterre qui c'est 100, moi, commencé en novembre.
Oh, bye belle là. Belle parole. Nous contentons ça. Nous contentons ça. Oui.
Parce que c'est pour ça qu'on a été tout stupide en pays, man. Philippe Diepierre, et qui a dit moi, à mon dit moi qu'on y dit wazin mi c'est côté sorti par ça là sorti là c'est la famille moi au Lyon because c'est papa moi sans papa moi sans Jean-Pierre. Moi dit m'a caché famille pour politique because monsieur supposé mettre quoi plus wise because moi jamais quoi nom me regarder qui était kay versier différent mettre quoi autant couillon man.
Oui.
Monsieur comment c'est là Kenyan Tony Henou là. Kenyan Tony Henou là, il fait prime ministre, il resign. Ou pas qui ça qui fait ta partie SLPA. Sous-Ouest, mettez si c'est pour ça a gagné élection. Philippe Diepierre pas jamais quand il leader parti en bas leadership sur guerre. Kenyan Tony qui vieux goumé pour venir là. Bon, ti bon Dieu là bon oui même, c'est pour ça il prend backseat là because il pas content ça qui fait la pièce because je ba coup pied pas derrière doing. Vous comprenez ça qui fait là pour il paie mais ça. Où ça va là qui really choque moi c'est que c'est l'élection était pour oui. N'a dit ça qui fait. Où ça si trois là. Maté jamais quoi Brad dit de kay point.
OK. Comment vous fait ça?
Et c'est ça because ti bon Dieu, yo te bay l'autre de ces noms qui était fort sous poiseille. Mais matin jamais quoi Brad dit de autant quoi.
OK.
Vous comprenez là. Bon c'est pour ça c'est pour la va comprendre. Yo dit pourquoi Chile ça qui a fait un pays à présent là right now là because bah ça qui a run là mi Covid la vini là et chasse en l'air BBC mon ouais ici à mon couchant les couchement qu'a garder
oui
et c'est yo ka dou en ici en ces pays à caribien qui fait bagay qui bien chasse c'est yon qui tient protocole là bien fait right toi veille là et c'est mon style pas ka ouais ça
yo ka ouais kola mauvais
that's all mais c'est ça moi le dire mon nan oui versier yo et me ko yo do et just mouté Philippe Diepierre il est nous zo pas nan pied pour marcher mais zo pas nan soule pour mettre en dingue yo pied pour marcher mais pas nan soule pour m'en
oui d'accord oui
mais t'as fait ça qu'a fait là moi je continue qu'a fait because moi qu'a fait sommeil c'est pas fait sommeil Moi ka coûter
Oui.
because il est intéressé.
Oui.
Eh bien, Laudeson,
Moi moi ça ka faire.
Merci, merci, merci.
Laudeson vini
Oui.
visit nous ici.
On y a bonsoir anyway.
Laudeson vini visit nous ici.
Nice we know ça because moi le faire business bizarre because comme on dit mon radio station moi ici à moi fait ka links pour ka parler.
Beautiful.
Ça check moi internet là tout www.coolvibesradio.co.uk.
Oui, on va dire ça trois faces.
Good vibes.
Good
vibes. www.goodvibesradio.
Okay.
Okay, Kola, merci.
www.coolvibesradio.co.uk.
Okay, beautiful.
It's Cool Vibes.
Okay,
Yeah.
merci.
Everyone just download app là tout, just attendez.
Okay,
okay,
bon.
Beautiful.
Okay, yeah, bye.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good. We have a boy up there. A connection.
Okay, folks, tonight we're going to tell you about. Okay, we have a call. Good night. You're on the air. It's Crossfire.
Hi, Norbert.
Good night.
Hi, it's Dominic Fede.
Hey, it's Minister Fede. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Well, Minister, it's nice that you called. That's very good that you called because there was an issue that has been floating around for the past few days. And in fact, it was on the news tonight about St. Lucia. And of course, a lot of the online and social media experts were giving their opinions and talking about how St. Lucia lost out and all of this sort of thing. I don't know if we're supposed to keep everything forever, but nevertheless, it's an opportune time that you call. Maybe you could shed some light on the ARC Plus and ARC in St. Lucia and what that whole story is about and give us the background.
Well, what it is, Norbert, is that we have three main events. There is the main ARC, which we've had for 30 years. And in the past 6 to 7 years, we've had ARC Plus and World ARC.
So what's the difference between the two? What's the difference?
Well, we have a contract with World Cruising Club for the main ARC. And this has grown. It comes usually around the beginning of December. And the ARC Plus would have about 50 boats or so, while the main event would have about 200 boats. What has happened is that the event has grown so big that usually to make space to allow the main ARC event to come in December, the people who have been attending the ARC Plus, they've always felt a bit rushed in having to leave and make way. And in fact, what we do, we put them down to Marigot.
You mean the yachties? Those who have been participating, the yachties.
Yeah. So there's usually not enough space for them to be able to enjoy themselves. And usually they go to the Grenadines, they go to Grenada. So World Cruising Club, the organizing or the organizers and the owner of the ARC franchise, they decided, listen, they will shift the ARC Plus to Grenada, where there's more space, as well as they have also offered us to have another event in January, where they will seek to replace the occupancy levels. I want to tell you, Norbert, that this year the ARC to St. Lucia has already sold out.
Wow.
There are people on a waiting list, and they just don't have enough capacity to be able to host all of the people who would like to come in St. Lucia alone. I also want to make it clear to you that the people who go to Grenada, even though Grenada is the first stop, they may decide to go south towards Tobago and the ABC Islands, or they may decide to go north. What has always happened, Norbert, is that the people who come to St. Lucia for the ARC, they would either go north to Martinique and the other islands up in the north, or they would go south to the Grenadines and Grenada. So yachting really is a regional, multi-destinational experience. No yachtsman stays in any given island for a lengthy period of time. So it's always an exchange that takes place. So in a large degree, it matters very little who hosts which is the landing port. But I want to assure your visitors that we have got our main ARC event, which is something we've had for 30 years, and that partnership is very, very strong with World Cruising Club, with whom we have a very good relationship. And we also still host the World Arc, which is another fringe event like Arc Plus. And we are putting on together with World Cruising Club another event in January. So that's the long and short of it. I know the general manager of the marina have been out today with the tourism authority, and they've been clearing up all of the miscommunication on the matter. So it's nothing really to worry about. I think that our relationship is solid with them. We don't know what the future holds, but for now our relationship is very, very solid with World Cruising Club, with whom St. Lucia has enjoyed a very, very strong friendship with over 30 years.
Mr. Minister, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Mr. Champagne, is that you?
I know those vocal cords have been battered for the last couple of days. I could sense a little difference in the voice. But let me ask you, I know the coronavirus took a toll on the entire world, especially the yachting industry. Do you see us regaining our yachting business? Maybe I know you can't predict the future, but do you see any future after COVID-19 for our yachting industry?
Well, what I can tell you, Champagne, is that we had the event in December. We had a virtual, we did a lot of it virtual. And we had the normal subscription in the beginning of the year before the pandemic. But after the pandemic hit, we saw that more and more people canceled. But to have had a yachting event which attracted 60 people in the middle of COVID really speaks volumes of the sustainability of the event. So I would say to you that there is a future.
Okay.
There's a lot of pent-up demand for travel. People want to get out. We're seeing a lot of excitement and a lot of momentum in bookings at hotels, as well as airlines coming to St. Lucia. In fact, this summer we will have 15% more airlift capacity than we did in 2019 of the summer. And that is going to be incredible. We have, for the first time in history, a flight from JetBlue from Newark. For the first time in history, we have a flight by American Airlines out of Dallas. We have, for a very long time, JFK is returning to, American is returning to JFK, direct service to St. Lucia.
Sorry to interject, Mr. Minister. What do you think attributed to that? Because in 2019, before the coronavirus, I know we had a lot of visitors on island. And if you are saying the projection in the middle of this year looks better than 2019, what do you believe attributed to that? You think it is great marketing from your ministry, or you think it is just people desperate to get out? What do you think it is?
Well, what it is, Champagne, I think that I'm not saying that our numbers this summer is better in arrivals. I'm just
You're saying the airlift?
The airlift is better.
Yes.
So we have a challenge now to fill them.
Oh, okay. I understood.
That's what we're going to do. So I can talk to you come fall.
Right,
September,
I understand.
October. And then I'll say to you, Champagne, the season actually had this level of outcome.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But
well explained.
It is very easy now to get airlift. And it is very available. But you just need to still go and make a very good business case.
Yes.
What we've been doing is we have always been preparing our destination and the architecture to reopen tourism.
Yeah.
Because we knew that at some point the world will start traveling again. Last year we lost 1 billion trips in the world, set the UNWTO in terms of their global stats. But I think now we're seeing that destinations are reporting very, very good arrival numbers, and I want to let you know that St. Lucia is out in front. The cruise industry, they have just announced that they are coming back. In fact, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines are about to announce that they'll be making cruise calls to St. Lucia and the Eastern Caribbean, home porting out of Barbados as early as July.
Oh boy.
We're also having
the taxi
discussions
drivers
with
will be happy.
Carnival Cruise Lines. But what's important, Champagne, is why we're doing all of this. We're doing all of this because as we go around this country and we talk to people on the ground, what we get mostly from them is the fact that the guys at Point Surfing, the guys at La Place Carénage doing taxi, they have not worked in a year.
Oh boy, yeah.
The market vendors have not worked since March of 2020. The craft market, the vendors, are literally annihilated, no revenue coming in for at least 12 months. You've got other sections of the small business sector that is hugely affected because of what's taking place. The dayboat charter owners, they are having significant losses as well and are going through significant pain and stress. So what we have to do is, as the world gets increased vaccinations and as we increase in vaccinating our people, I think that we're getting to that point where we can now contemplate tourism in a safe, responsible manner to put this country back to work.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody have anything for the minister?
Mr. Minister, a question to you. Since the cruise ship would be there for the day, how would that be with the passengers? Are they going to be how you call that, in quarantine?
No, they get vaccinated.
Well,
just the vaccinated, the vaccination they've received would give them the okay to be,
to disembark.
Well, we are still working on our protocols to make sure that we have a very safe protocol. I think that we had a very safe protocol for the individuals that are coming in and staying at hotels, but we are still out on it. We want to be guided by the science, not just by the economics. And so really we will be getting the guidance of the medical team. I know that those discussions are taking place now, but I know that one of the proposals from the cruise lines is that every single passenger must be vaccinated as a requirement for entry, as well as to be tested for COVID. So they're taking 2 extra steps, 2 layers, to ensure that we protect not just our population, but also everyone involved, including tourists and the crew members as well. So
yeah. There's going to be a lot of concern from, especially with the cruise industry, the cruise ship industry, where what are we getting from Royal Caribbean in particular and the other cruise ship companies in terms of preparation? Because there may be some people that may say, boy, this thing had been rushed. Another 3 months, Corona is not even over, and those cruise ships are in the Caribbean. What are we hearing from the cruise ship companies in terms of preparation?
it's a very scaled down operation as well. So I don't think that you're going to have too many land-based experiences, and where there are land-based experiences, we would have to reimagine them so that we can have it in the safest possible way for every single person. So even our vendors, our tour guides, and the crew members working on tours need to be vaccinated as well before we can press the button to say go.
Right.
So I think that we have made significant strides. We've vaccinated some 19,000 people is what I saw.
That's great.
As the latest figures, 19,500 to be exact. And, you know, we're really doing very nicely in the vaccination stage, and we anticipate additional vaccines to come in by the end of the month from our COVAX facility, as well as the cases are going down. I think today the number of active cases have come down from being over 1,000 in January to 153.
We need to ring the bell on that. That is a huge achievement. That is great stuff for Lucia and the world.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And as well, we see that hospital rates are coming down in our source markets, the U.S., although in a couple states, I realized there was a news report today which suggested that the cases were going back up in the U.S.
Oh boy.
After months of decline and months of dwindling hospital rates as well. So I would say that the COVID situation globally is improving significantly. On our own soil, we have made significant strides. The backlog has been crushed by the Owen King EU lab, and I want to congratulate them and all the hard work that they have done to make sure that they get rid of the backlog of samples that we would have had at the Owen King EU lab. We have mobilized the forensic lab to be able to, in a combined capacity, if anything should go wrong, we now have the capacity to do as much as 1,000 tests on a daily basis. So that's phenomenal to be able to do that. And we see that, as a country, we've been able to bring the curve right down. And, I am really, really excited and inspired by this and encouraged, and we just have to keep this stable and keep working towards it.
Yeah, okay, great.
Definitely. All right. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Folks, that's the Honorable Dominic Ferry, Minister of Tourism and Broadcasting.
Yeah. Mr. Minister, you still there?
Before I go, I want to say that we're doing this because of the workers of this country that are continuing to feel the pain. Their loans are adding up. Their bills are piling up, and savings are getting lower. And what we have to do is to get this country back to work, open up this economy in a safe and strategic way.
Yes, that's for sure.
So that we can get them back to work. I speak to hotel workers all the time. As an MP, people who I know can fend for themselves, usually, but with COVID, it has just given everyone a very, very tough hit. You've got civil servants who are also feeling the pinch, even though they are getting paid, because they have to support family members that are not working.
Yeah,
and so this is a real situation. And the pain of enduring the health situation of COVID is the economic side is becoming even harsher than to deal with the sickness itself. And this is a real concern. A lot of people are very, very discouraged and frustrated and are on the brink of depression as a result of it. And I think we really need to restore this economy and put it back. And this is our biggest motivation.
And Mr. Minister, we have often heard the arguments or the debates between tourism and agriculture, which both of them go hand in hand. But COVID has taught us something. What it has taught us is tourism. Tourism is very, very, very important to the economy of St. Lucia. And all of us should be aware of that.
Important to agriculture.
Absolutely. We lost some 15,000 jobs in the peak of the pandemic. And we've returned about 7,400 now. But even those people who are working, they have less hours.
That's right.
They have less gratuities because the occupancy levels in the hotels are lower and are not as consistent.
That's right.
So, therefore, you have a real grim situation that we must look at. And, for people who are listening and, would propose to close the borders, when you close the borders, you shut the door on taxi drivers, you shut the door on farmers who sell their produce to hotels. You close the door on waitresses who many times they are the single breadwinner in the family.
Right.
And so this goes to the heart of families, really. This really goes into the very core of our society. And we must really now give them some hope.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Minister.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in.
And get some seat on there. I don't know if you know what that is. It's something to do with lime and sugar. For those
lime and sugar.
Mr. Minister.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep praying, okay? That's ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Yes.
You're the man.
Let's
okay. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good night. Thank you. And folks, just want to say before you go there, Champagne, that tonight's show is sponsored by Chemical.
Oh, really?
Yes, of course. Toilet bowl cleaner. Well, one of our sponsors tonight. Toilet bowl cleaner, disinfectant. We have lots of different scents. We have, what's it? Cherry. We have potpourri. We have dishwashing liquid. We have concrete cleaner, ceramic and clay tile cleaner. We have, of course, the big one that everybody knows is chemical bleach. That's a staple. And, of course, Champagne, glass cleaner, glass and surface cleaner. We also have battery water, and of course the big thing that I like, Champagne, that you use.
Fabric softener?
Come on, it's the best fabric softener in St. Lucia. Good night, you're on the air. It's Crossfire.
Hello, Mr. Norbert. I
Yes,
am
sir.
very happy that the minister called and cleared the air
Yes.
on the yachting business, because there's a particular individual
Mm-hmm.
who early this evening paint a bleak picture
Yeah.
of the whole scenario.
Well, you know people will do that.
So I am happy that he did that. But that's good. That's very good.
And,
Okay,
and caller, people need to understand something. The coronavirus, COVID-19, has changed the entire structure of the world. Things that were being done before, some of them will never come back. Never. And people need to make those, to have these
It's the
understanding.
reality. It's the reality.
You know?
But that individual used to be
He's a guru.
a yachting
Yeah, we know who
expert, and I want to find out where he get the information.
The yachting guru.
Say all these things.
Yeah, they know everything.
It's a very bleak picture he painted. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good night, my friend.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
caller. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. You know, Champagne, we have quite a number of messages tonight, but we have a caller who will be getting on in just a second, and when we're done with that, we'll go through a few of the calls.
The texts, you mean?
Yeah,
The
text
messages,
messages. Yes. Good night. You on the air?
Hello, good night.
Yes. Good night.
Brother Norbert, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for calling from all the way over there.
Yeah, Brother Champagne.
Yes,
brother,
sir. Good evening.
Secret.
Ring the
brother,
bell. Doctor, ring the bell.
Doctor, ring the bell.
And ring the This is Ian calling from the U.S.
All right.
Okay.
How you doing?
Good night.
Let me tell you guys doing a wonderful job, and this is what we need as a party months ago. We need to step up our PR, which is what I'm happy and I feel good about, because when you look at the opposition and the kinds of things they say and the kinds of misinformation and innuendos and lies that they spew out there, if we did not have that kind of PR going on, half the population will believe them.
So we should ring the bell for ourselves?
Yeah, you should do
Yes,
that.
ring
But the thing is, I want you guys to. I started doing it in 1997 when the St. Lucia Labour Party won the election in 1997. You know what I was doing? I had a book, and all the misdeeds I started writing it down from 1997.
Wow.
And for some reason, I misplaced this book. But those guys, we need to remind those St. Lucians that we're not going back to the days of Rochamel. We need to remind St. Lucians that we're not going back to the days of the Hellenites scandal. Remember the Hellenites
Oh, yes.
scandal?
A lot of people have forgotten it, caller. Thank you for bringing it up.
We're not going
we
back.
need to remind St. Lucia. We're not going back to the Helena affair.
Helena affair.
Where we're not going back to? Keep going, caller.
That's right, caller. That's right.
We're not going. We need to remind St. Lucians
The
that we're not
NCA.
going back to the NCA scandal.
That's right. That's right.
Caller, why you stopping? Keep going. Why you stopping?
Keep going.
I'm continuing.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
caller.
We're not going back to days of Grindberg.
Yes, sir. That's
We're
right.
not going back to the days. We're not going back to the days when they stopped the school transportation subsidy.
Amen.
Where we're under late Arson James and under UWP. Parents children who could not have afford a meal, the government, the UWP government gave them a meal at school, and the Labour Party stopped that. You remember that?
Oh, of course. We have all of it there. That's right.
Somebody
We're
said
not
the
going
Blue
back-
Boy scandal. And that's not a
Right.
Calypsonian.
No, but I'm continuing,
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not going back to the days when they stopped the school transportation subsidy. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
we're
yes,
there with
yes.
you, caller.
We're
Continue.
listening. Go ahead.
And it had to take this government when we got back into office to
Mm-hmm.
reinstate that program so that the children who could not afford, again, parents who
Yep.
could not afford to give their children transportation to go to school, the government subsidized that so that they can go to school and get an education.
But I guess children don't eat. Just like people don't eat
Well-
roads, the children don't eat.
Exactly. We're not going back to the days when VAT was 15% and that poor people could not even afford to buy basic commodities.
That's right.
We're not going back to the days when we had a master as our prime minister, where is his way or the highway. And if you dare challenge him, you know what happens to you as a minister. Whereas we have a prime minister now in the name of Alan Michael Shastley, who's a consensus leader, who's a consensus prime minister. We're not going back to the days when, remember 361? Remember 361?
Oh, we do. If you
Yes,
have,
we do.
if you have to continue, we will be here up until 1 in the morning. I know that for a fact.
Affirmative action.
But caller, you missed the big kahuna. You missed the big kahuna. We're not going back to Jufali. We're not going back there.
We're not going back there. But I'm bringing some of those things to you guys so that we need to keep pounding it in the heads of St. Lucians that this
And
is
the bloody
still
one,
the Labour Party.
and the bloody one, caller, the bloody one, we're not going back to coupe, par coupe.
Yeah.
This was the bloody one. People lost their lives with this one. Okay?
Exactly.
All right.
But the thing is, listen to this. And I have been thinking about this whole dynamic when it comes to the upcoming general election. God forbid those guys win the election. Just imagine Kenny Anthony wins his seat. Philip J. Pierre wins. I'm just being hypothetical.
Yes, yes.
Philip J. Pierre wins his seat and they form the government, Ernest Hilaire and whatever. What ministry would Philip J. Pierre give Kenny Anthony?
That's a good one, caller. That's a good one. Which one he would accept? You're keeping it real, caller.
No. Let us analyze this. Look at the slate of cards. Look at the slate.
Yeah.
And I guess let's try to imagine the cabinet. You think Kenny Anthony will sit by and allow Philip JP to make him a junior minister?
Caller, I believe.
Who will control finance? That's the question.
I believe if that happens, Mr. Pierre would sit down, Dr. Anthony, sit him down and ask him which ministry that he would like to have. That's what I believe.
Okay, so you trust your finances. But listen, let's analyze it even deeper.
Yeah.
Would you feel confident enough to trust your finance, your country's finance, in the hands of Philip JP?
Well, we saw the results of that before. Even if he was not the minister.
Would you trust Philip JP to go out in the wider community and give an address to the UN and all those agencies to get funding for? Can he do that? Does he have that capacity to do that? Let us be real.
We're being real, caller.
Philip JP does not have any capacity. He's not a leader. And that is the problem with the Labour Party. They know it, but they're trying to put a face because they realize
the Labour Party doesn't have any friends out there. In the real world, the Labour Party has no friends. And they made the claim that they couldn't borrow. One of the reasons why they could not borrow, caller, it is because they didn't have friends. They didn't have anyone to look up to. That is one of the reasons.
That is one reason. But the other reason is this. People had no confidence in the Labour Party.
Amen.
You see, when you go out there as a leader, and Sir John was able to do it. Remember in those days, globally, countries were giving you grants and stuff. So John was able to go out there and negotiate and get grants for St. Lucia, and things was happening, project developmental wise.
And was a classy guy.
And whatever they might want to say about the late George Odland, he was a master at that. He could have gone out there and get things. Remember, it was George Odlum who brought certain things, who brought the stadium and stuff like that they built. It was through the efforts of George Odlum.
Yeah,
and they would say that.
Some things he had brought back was asked to give it away, give it back. Some things he had brought. You remember that, right? Some gifts that he got, he was asked to take it back from the boss.
But
a Rolex, maybe.
But a Rolex, yes. But going back to Philippe J. Pierre cannot go out there and negotiate anything with any lending agency to say, okay, I can, as a prime minister, as a leader, this is what I can bring to the table so that I can get the finance. The world, every country now, because of this COVID, coronavirus, the COVID pandemic, is feeling the pinch. Countries now are holding on to what they have.
Yes, sir.
So you have to have the capacity.
You have to. It must be appealing. Must be.
Right. You must have that capacity as a leader, running a small country like St. Lucia, to go out there and negotiate with those lending agencies to get the monies for St. Lucia so that the country can continue.
Colin,
cannot do that.
You know one of the differences from Alan Shastney to all of these other people? This man is well connected. And he have never said it, but we know it. Alan Shastney, our current prime minister, is well connected. This is the difference between him and these other people. And these guys from the Labour Party, they know it.
Listen, you know what we need to, you know what you guys should do? I'm not telling you guys how to run your program, but it's just a suggestion I'm making. Designate the program, one program or two programs, and analyze both leaders. When I say leaders, I mean Philippe J. and Alan Shastney.
Yeah.
Get Philippe J.P.'s CV, and it should be public because he's a public figure.
That is right.
Get Alan Shastney's CV, get his achievements on both achievements, and analyze it objectively, and have a poll. Ask St. Lucians, who would you entrust to run your country?
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Because it's all about leadership there. And I'm happy that you guys are on and keep up the good work.
Thanks
and
a lot.
As the months and weeks go closer.
Thank you.
Okay,
as
thank
the
you very
months
much.
and weeks go closer, we need to intensify our PR, and I'm on board with you guys, and I'm listening from abroad.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thanks
Colin.
a lot, Colin.
Thank you very much.
And let's say a special good evening to all our beautiful people at the diaspora, like you say.
Of course, in the diaspora, in French Guyana, in Cayenne.
Yes.
Bonsoir Cayenne, bonsoir Martinique, bonsoir Canada. Saint-Martin, oui. U.S. Virgin Islands. We have lots of people logged in. I thought that was a third screen. We have lots of people.
Oui.
Alors, je vais dire la condoléance pour la famille Maxwell et puis Constantin, et puis je vais dire qu'on force qu'on voit et puis bon Dieu qu'il y soulagé.
Okay, well, nous tout ici à sympathy.
Well, a special good night.
Oui. Well, there's a house that got burned flat down.
Where's that?
In my area, Timon. The people lose everything.
Wow.
This morning. Apparently,
total loss.
The madam went to work. Likewise, the husband and the two children, I understood, was in the. I saw the house myself. They did not save anything at all.
That is sad, but the two kids get out unscathed. Oh, beautiful.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, we want to say special good night and thank you for joining us to all our listeners in the diaspora. And folks, we have quite a number of St. Lucian listeners right here on their mobile device. A lot of people are logged in. Good night to Canada. That's Canada, right, Champagne?
Canada.
Good night to New York. Good night to the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix. Good night to you. Good night to Jamaica. Good night to you in French Guiana. We said that. Barbados. Good night, Belgium, ma. What's going on?
Belgium.
Yeah, ma. You from Barbados or what?
Oh, I spent some time in Barbados.
You spent some time there?
Eating fried fish and cocoa.
Guys, we promised the people that on our next program that we will be coming here, and this responsibility lies in the hands of Mr. No, but I could begin for some information myself, where we will highlight projects that had started from 2016. We will bring out information to the people because this is what this program is about, to bring out information to the people so they could understand what has happened from June of 2016 up until now. And all of the projects, we will have them here. Unlike our other program, we have Wednesday coming, we will, because this is important to show the people, because all of the lies and the propaganda out there that has been shown and been spoken about every single day on various radio and television programs, our responsibility here is to debunk all of those nonsense. Right, Mr. Mordovich?
That's right. Okay. That's right. Bringing the truth to light.
Bringing the truth to light. This is why we call our station 93.1 Sky FM what?
The People's Radio.
Now, don't forget to let the people know, in case they just tune in, this is what we call Crossfire.
That's right.
Crossfire. I want to go on my request, if you will, is still out there to the Labour Party supporters. I would like for them to call in and say to Champagne, you vote for the Labour Party because of this. Okay? Give me one good reason. We're still waiting for the Labour Party supporters to call it. We are nice guys. We will not be hostile with you. We will be very nice. We're never hostile here. Tell us, give us one good reason, give St. Lucia and the world a reason why Dr. Secret, Ring the Bell, Brother Norbert and myself should leave the United Workers' Party and vote for the SLP. Give us a
why
reason.
we should vote for them.
Why?
You don't have to leave anyway.
No,
why you gotta vote
why?
for them?
Why are we going to vote for them?
Okay, folks, we gotta give you some of our energy around here. And Dr. Secret is the man who kicked it off last week. And of course, we have the St. Lucia Virtual Carnival Road March. And we're going to take you through a little action, and Dr. Secret is going to start it off. Yes, folks, keeping it real every day for 2021. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. Give it to them, Dr. Secret.
My flambeau no cadeau. Oi!
Wheel it back, wheel it back.
Wheel it back, take it from the top.
Let's go.
Wait. My Patrick. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Tous les jours. Tous les jours. Tous les jours. Dans my flambeau, moi, Cadizo. Pas oublier pour voter. By UWP. Mettez Philippe Pierre couché. Mettez Baptiste couché. Mettez. Oh!
Oubliez, non, c'est pourquoi.
Machin iski monkey la. Fortuna.
Fait il est ça qu'il est. Pourtant, ça va
bien.
Cadio, Philippe, Dépeni pour aller.
Bye bye.
Bye bye Baptiste, bye bye. Bye bye Kenny, bye bye. Bye bye Sean, bye bye. Bye bye Ile, bye bye. Bye bye Philippe, bye bye. Zotout, ni pour aller.
Okay. Woo! Folks, I have a simple question for all of you. Simple question for all of you. Simple thing to consider, all our listeners and everybody in the diaspora around the world. Si on allait Mars, c'est même question. Because I know they're receiving us up on Mars right now.
Yes.
In the coming elections, it's one of two choices. That's basically what it boils down to. Philip J. Pierre versus Prime Minister Alan Shastney. The choice is very easy to make. Who you have more confidence in, who you think has the ability, who has the proven track record of delivering to the people of St. Lucia, who has consistently dedicated day and night to the people of St. Lucia, who has not been silent and allowed things to run amok and then claim to be the one who doesn't know. I don't know, never knows.
Never know.
And they talk about transparency and accountability. But when the Prime Minister makes himself available to almost anyone out there, he puts the information out, they complain. If Sky FM is going out and doing what it takes to get the voices of the people who are important to the people of St. Lucia, then Sky FM needs to be followed.
Yes.
It is the responsibility of all those in the industry, the so-called journalists, the media managers, the radio station managers,
Yes.
to get the information out to the people. It's not going to be spoon-fed to you. It's a competitive industry, and I guarantee you that the complaint that Ernest Hilaire was making about Sky FM, if any other station had gotten the exclusive from the Prime Minister, there would be no problem with it.
No problem.
Sky FM is bringing the truth to light, is bringing the information to the people of St. Lucia, as it is. And some people may not like that, but the truth shall set you free.
And Mr. Nobot, that is the reason why Dr. Secret is on Sky FM campaigning. That's what I'm doing here. Campaigning to bring the information as to what the government is doing. Bon, c'est mon qui voulait me dire en créole. N'a dit Dr. Secret à sous Sky FM, ça c'est radio c'est mon. Pour ces moun savent that qui c'est campaign because from day one, 1st of February when I came here, I said this is what I am here to do. So why others can't do it from since 2013? They lost the election
2016.
in 2016
your power
at
vote.
10:30 p.m.
That's
They
right.
knew that they lost the election,
That's right.
and they started campaigning at 10:31.
That's right.
And they have not stopped. So what is the big problem? That is what we are there doing. Champagne, you in the morning, champagne, then I am in the afternoon, ring the bell in the night. That is what we are doing.
And they have
giving
millions.
Giving the right information.
They have millions pushing out their story, so
the
what?
only information I heard from Mr. JP, he said that he had lunch with President Mandela.
C'est ça qu'il sauve Saint-Lucie.
Ambassador.
Oh, we
Yeah,
have
the-
a call. We have a call. Let's take this one on WhatsApp. Let's take this call. Good night, you on the air. It's Crossfire.
Good evening, it's me again. No, but I'm just sitting there. Remember that tape that was circulating on Facebook with the guy from Rosalie, Casimir, and he had that show with the fellow from overseas.
No,
that
it was
doing,
a Zoom meeting, and he said he didn't care.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that's what I said. You remember what he said? We just go out there and tell them whatever the F they want to hear, and we don't care about them.
Right.
What is that? A young man going up for election.
Yo,
and
how
he
point?
has supporters,
His head burned already.
right? And you out there, I wonder how many of the supporters really listen to what he said on that thing. They probably just say it and they say,
Yeah.
we just go out there and we tell them what the F they want to hear. We don't care about, to go and spread propaganda, spread lies.
Yeah.
And they
Well, caller, you might be very well surprised who else has said those things. Things come out,
all of them saying it, but when you watch them, all of them in it. All of them just come in and they say, I see it with my eyes today, like I told you earlier on. That's exactly what the people has nothing to run on than to put chaos and to try to take out the Prime Minister from there for tomorrow, for them to say, we vote you out, and then they have nothing to offer to the people of St. Lucia.
Caller, you brought something to my mind. Couple years ago in the House of Parliament, you remember a certain parliamentarian said that Sir John said, whilst we are breaking grounds to build, others are breaking glass to destroy. And you remember what that man said. So it is not surprising today because his son is the one saying a lot of those things on radio. That just came back to my mind. Radio and television, cursing all the way.
Yes, he said that. But listen, again with Ernest Hilaire, when Sarah stand on a point of order, and Sarah told him that he said something, what did he tell the speaker? He said, well, I say it already in a little phrase.
That's
but it
right.
wasn't a phrase. He said,
That's right. He said so many times.
Something like that.
Many times he said
Yes,
that.
he said it.
He said so many times before.
So he's doing his thing, and I find
That's
the
right.
Speaker of the House is that man. I know it's the government that put him there, but he is not. I don't know. To me, that's not his role. They need to get somebody. I don't know if they want to call me to do it for them. I would love to do it. Because you see, Labour, they wouldn't have been in the House at all. For the 5 years of walking out, this is my house. I am ruling my house. You cannot come in there when you want. You cannot come when you want.
Caller, in my opinion, they should be banned for a period of time. And that can be done.
You have to discipline these people. Because these people are doing like they're working for the 6 of them and not for the people of the country.
Your six horsemen.
Just for power and to hell with the people, insulting the people just by walking out is an insult to the nation already. Just by walking out, and I am following all news everywhere. I seen politicians fighting in the House of Parliament. Nobody not running, everybody staying there and fighting the fight. Take the heat, that's what the people put you all there. Fight.
Now, caller, while you are right, and I'm in agreement with everything you're saying, but neither one of us are parliamentarians, and there may be some regulations, maybe Brother Norbert might know some of the regulations in there. There may be some regulations that is, regarding the House of Parliament that we don't know in regards to whether or not they could walk out as often as possible as they want to and come back in as often as they want to.
My friend, let me tell you something. That's nonsense.
No, listen. No, hold on. No, listen. Now, I know you went overboard. We are saying we don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether or not the parliamentarians could walk out of the House as often as they want to and get back in as often as they want to. I don't know. If there is such a ruling or regulation, then maybe it should be brought out to the public. You know what I mean? But I would love to see them out of the House all the time.
If it was so, UWP, when they are in opposition, they will be walking out of the House.
No, the UWP, no caller, the UWP personnel or those who are on the side of the UWP are people of integrity, people of class, people of character. They sit there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they sit there and they listen.
Pillar standing, and that one pillar stood.
That's right.
Representing the people.
That's right. This is the difference. This is the difference.
Representing the people.
This is the difference between the UWP and the SLP. We sit there, we don't run away, and we'll take all of our blows. Every time they make their contributions, all their lives, they disappear. They disappear. We are different kinds of people.
But I don't blame them, because I think it's lack of, what I would tell my people, our ignorance. Because I remember when these people came inside of there with the 16-1 in 97, and I was walking and listening to St. Lucians, the laborers, the ones that wanted the change, opening their mouth and saying, we are the opposition, we are going to oppose. How can you oppose when you're not inside of there with these people?
Yes.
That's when all the crime started. That's when all the dishonesty and the scandal started, and I wasn't hearing nobody opposing. You all put these people inside of there. You all don't know a country need an opposition to run. As long as it doesn't have an opposition, it's communism and everything that will enter under our nose. And scandal and everything. But who will watch them? We are the people that walking on the street every day. You think it's in Parliament? We have more problems on our own. Is in Parliament we're going to go and fight with these fellas?
Anyway, listen.
Huh?
Well, this time they will not have an opposition. Clean slate.
Okay, caller.
All right.
We're going to have to take a little break here now. We have to roll out. It's after. We're into overdrive right now.
We'll take a break.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller.
Right,
thanks for calling. I want to read something here, folks. I want to read something here. Because there always seems to be, in fact, let me read to you something here. It was said earlier in the House, I think it was Guy Joseph, who said that when the SLP does anything in office, it's okay. But the moment anybody else does the very same thing, there's a problem. And everything they tell you now, oh, two wrongs don't make a right. But it is only right when it is done by the SLP in office.
That's right.
But you can do anything else. And that is why I keep telling people, the SLP, a bunch of failures in office. And I'm not just saying that lightly. I'm not just making that up. Let's go to the past. The record speaks for itself.
That's correct.
The failures that they are. I mean, where in the world have you ever heard this? That people who have failed to demonstrate that they have the capacity, they have the ability, they have the capability to deliver. And for the world to see, for everybody in St. Lucia to see, that they failed at St. Jude's, they failed at the airport, they failed on the roads, they failed with employment. Record unemployment in the history of St. Lucia. They failed with every single thing they touched. They could not borrow. And then they're talking about, well, the government is borrowing, it's too much borrowing. And what does that mean? For you to borrow, that's something good? Well, when you couldn't borrow, was it something good too? It's because there was no confidence in your ability. But I have a letter here that I want to read, because we must not forget the pressure by the SLP and its surrogates. They like that word, I'll use that word. Their surrogates, the hackalacks, and those who were bent on creating chaos, on destabilizing the government, and creating a situation of chaos in St. Lucia, of instability, of doubt, by painting the worst case scenario, predicting doom and gloom, and creating an environment where St. Lucians just were overburdened by the negative. Now remember last year, all of us are in it, whether you SLP, whether you UWP, whether you are an independent voter, whether you are Malawi, whether you are a rich man, whether you are a poor man, whether you are a white man in St. Lucia, whether you are an Indian in St. Lucia, a Syrian, a Guyanese, a Trini, a Bajan, all those who are here, everybody heard, day in and day out, the opposition to every single thing that this government did, even up to today, to the point of ridiculosity in the House of Parliament, to the point of nonsense, because just looking back a few weeks, a few months ago, not even 1 year, you had the opposition's contrary position. So you're wondering if there's any sense or sensibility or logic in anything that they say. So remember when the government asked for a moratorium, the government offered bonds to help in the situation of financing the operations of this country, because the revenues were significantly reduced because there was no tourism. Nobody was coming here. Businesses were closed down. Government's revenue. Champagne, if your salary is cut in half, or you lose your job and you have no income, do you think you can pay your maid?
Cannot cut in half.
I know you have a maid. I know you have somebody who irons your clothes.
That's somebody, look at there right there. Those
Right?
2 hands, yeah.
So if you can't do that, you have to cut expenses. You have to try to find ways. You say to Lucy, like, well, hey, you know what? I can't pay you this month, or I can pay you 50%, half the bill. Next month, for next 2 months, I'll pay you the rest. That's what the government was doing. Is there anybody in St. Lucia who believes that the government was not getting money as it used to before? I don't think anybody in their right mind, anybody who's honest, will say that the government did not have financial issues because of COVID. What happened to all the people who worked in the hotels? What was that because of? So if you're not making money, you can't pay taxes, the businesses can't pay corporate taxes, the government can't earn income, imports were reduced.
You see, and the Labour Party now, in their mischief, continues to preach to the people. The IMF gave money for COVID. IMF gave money, they say, like
Yes,
it was a
yes,
grant.
yes.
So if it was 100 million, the IMF gave St. Lucia's Prime Minister money to give out. So this is why they continue to say about that giving money. In the back of the, and he said it, not that seat in the one before. He said that this time the people of St. Lucia is going to wait to see if the Prime Minister is going to give them some money.
But listen to the prudent management again. And this contrast, and the Prime Minister said it in his closing remarks this afternoon. And this contrasts very well the difference between Kenny Anthony as the finance minister and Prime Minister Alan Shastney as the finance minister in St. Lucia. In that famous interview with J.D. Jean-Pierre in 2014, now remember that year, 2014, it's going to be very important in a minute. What did Dr. Kenny Anthony say? They couldn't borrow. Banks and other lending institutions were reluctant to lend because the government had to get its financial house in order. Why? There was no confidence. The banks, just like an individual, you go to the bank assesses you, they evaluate your policies, they evaluate the amount of money you have coming in, they evaluate what your expenditure is, and they evaluate the trend of your government to see whether it is a reasonable risk to loan you money. That's what the banks do. And Dr. Anthony, in his own words, said that they could not borrow because of having the financial house not being in order. But who was Prime Minister? And if you're saying that, if you're admitting that, it means that you, as the finance minister, as the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, could not handle or manage adequately the finances of St. Lucia. Now, the government here last year asked for 3 months, 50% in bonds, and you get it next year, which would be just about now, to help out. And what did the Prime Minister say today? And what did happen with the unions and all those who wrote their letters and got on air and jumped about up and down? The government still was able, with their refusal to negotiate and work things out, that everybody has been paid, even up to today, and next month, this month's salary coming next week, without a hiccup. But the Prime Minister put it perfectly this afternoon when he said, they predicted that things would not be good, but nobody knew. COVID was new, the budget had been passed, you had your estimates of expenditure, but who knew how bad or when things would recover, seeing what we saw in the world? So the Prime Minister said that before things got bad, because you know they're talking about the government is taking all of these loans, nukai mo bonje. And what did the Prime Minister do? Because of the uncertainty with COVID, because nobody knew when it would end, when it would change, how bad it would get, whilst things were still going good, while St. Lucia could still do it because of the record of the previous 3 years, the government went out there and got loans to secure itself in the event that things got as bad as it could have gotten. So you organize yourself, you're hoping for the best, but you're preparing for the worst. And that is what happened there. And as the Prime Minister has said, things got bad. Everybody knows it got bad. The estimates that were there last year, there was a serious shortfall. So what would we have done now, later in the year, when all other countries were en bas de l'eau, when they had given out monies already to other countries, when they have to look out for their own countries? We saw it with the ventilators. We saw it recently with the vaccines, how countries were stopping shipment to Australia or New Zealand when they stopped the ventilators to Barbados. Because as things were beginning to get worse, countries started looking at securing themselves. So Kisanu Tekaife, the Prime Minister did the right thing by securing loans. Everybody takes loans. Whether it's from your uncle, whether you ask some things bad, everybody takes loans because times come when you need assistance.
You have to read something.
But I have to, no, I'm leading up to it there, Champagne. Thank you so much. On the 6th of June, 2014, 2 years. Make a note, 2 years before elections in St. Lucia. 2 years before elections in St. Lucia. In the best of times. And that's the same year. Remember I said the year, 2014, when he had that interview with J.D. Japier. The same year as this letter was written. In the best of times. There was no COVID. There was no terrorism. There was no crisis. There was no nada. There was no financial crisis. Office of the Prime Minister. Nabawi Apoeza. Right? Office of the Prime Minister. Let me give it to you. Don't play with me there tonight, Champagne. 6th of June. To Mr. Cameron Law, President of the St. Lucia St. Lucia Police Welfare Association. Dear President. Right? Dear President. Listen to this in the best of times. At the meeting between the government of St. Lucia and representatives of public sector unions held on May 20th, 2014, the government indicated that on June 6, 2014, it will formally present its proposals to reduce the fiscal deficit of the government of St. Lucia. Consistent with that undertaking, the government now proposes the following. Not, listen well, you know. The very same people, hell or high water, did not want the government in the worst of times to make things secure financially for people to help, not to cut, not to reduce, not to remove, but to play their part and to get it back with interest later on. Listen to this. Consistent with that undertaking, the government now proposes the following, and listen to what they proposed. Kenny Anthony from the Office of the Prime Minister. 1, a reduction in wages of public officers and all other employees of the Crown from grades 4 to 21, listen to this, by 5%. Not bonds, not a deferment, a cut, a reduction in wages. The reduction will be levied on gross salaries. That is to say, basic salaries inclusive of all allowances. The reduction will not apply to the judiciary or the Governor General. Oh. Introduction, number 2, introduction of a wage freeze to cover the current triennium of wage negotiations. 3, the introduction of agreed benchmarks for future wage increases. So they're saying unless certain things happen, you cannot get an increase. To ensure and maintain fiscal sustainability, that is of the government, it is proposed that proposals for wage adjustments beyond the current triennium should be related to broad macroeconomic and fiscal indicators. So what he's saying is that longevity of service or whatever, not important. Only certain things have to happen before anybody can get a raise. Number 1, a GDP growth rate of 2.5%. So we know that the SLP, whilst in office, the growth rate was below 0 a bar. So that means there was no chance of anybody getting any increase. No chance. And I am putting it to you that if they had won in 2016, bagay te kay desan pli abate, abalate. Number 2, achievement of a current account surplus of 3% of GDP. So what they're saying is that they must have a surplus. Ute jemetan gouvernement Kenny Anthony tenir surplus. No. C, the third one, an agreed level of inflation. So if inflation doesn't go up past a certain amount, upa hen a raise. That's what they were proposing. That's what they're proposing. Next, the level of wages in the overall economy as measured by the wage index. So they have to compare the wages. It's not about how many years you're there, how long since you had the last wage. They have to compare it with everybody else. So the police, the danger of the job, having no insurance, none of these safeguards, or at least none of these options to make your life easier, to show that we appreciate these frontliners, these essential workers, like everybody else. It's only this government that gave the police insurance since ever in the history. Agreed productivity gains. You know what that sounds like to me? Quotas. So that means that if the police are not performing in a particular way, whatever the government decides, they never indicated it, you can't get a raise. Agreed productivity gains. But for Alan Chasney and this current government to put a proposal out there that everybody put their hand to help, take a moratorium on your wages for only 3 months, and you will get the money back in bonds. Hell and high water. Mekute sa yote vle fe. Saint-Lissy. Right? That's what they wanted to put. But in the best of times, but in the worst of times, when St. Lucia is trying to make its way forward, say, Bugla pa mele, they have no consideration. Yo pani che. Pour sauver on pays yo. Même se Bugla, ka they were about patriots. The patriots. Yeah. There will be no peace. Yes. There will be no peace.
No peace. Unless they take their country back, there will be no peace. Where is St. Lucia?
You see, the attitude that they alone are qualified to rule this country. That is the mentality. Gentlemen, we've gone over time 33 minutes. It's 10:33. And all our listeners online are still there.
And then I have to be back here tomorrow morning. St. Lucia, let me say to you, in the morning at 10 o'clock, I will have a gentleman here by the name of Mr. Tai, and he's responsible for road construction all around our beautiful island, putting of whole putting as well. So Mr. Tai will be in studio from the Ministry of Infrastructure. He will let us know what is happening with all of the roads, the new roads, the rehabilitated roads, all of the construction going on all around St. Lucia at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So you want to stay tuned for that on Sky FM.
Well, one point here before we go, Champagne. That proposal there, which was not accepted, and the police officers, and by extension others in St. Lucia, was spared the wrath of the St. Lucia Labour Party in government. The person who they love to hate, who dealt with this, and said, Mary Isaac said, no way. And vindictiveness that they're talking about, I think this is all part of the disdain that they have for Mary Isaac. Because you're not doing that to the people. These are the people who look out for the workers of St. Lucia. Not the papi show we see in
And today she's the worst person for them. Worst person.
One of the most compassionate people, I am telling you that.
Are we okay? We done?
You good?
Well, I want
Champagne doesn't want to go home.
I want to go home.
I want to
have
report,
to be back early.
Yeah,
you do.
I want to report that the road construction at the lower part of Timon, it was inspected and accepted, and the road has been opened as of today. So certain resident of Timon, not just certain, but all resident of Timon, because sometimes I have the cause to drive into that road. The beautiful concrete road at the bottom, so everybody, all those that was parking their vehicle on the roadside for the past 2 weeks, I want to say thanks very much for your cooperation, and we're looking forward to see that you keep St. Lucia in good hands.
You see, this is the kind of program, and I don't know if we sidetracked a little bit, but this program was designed to bring the information to the people. All of what is happening. We may not know all at the same time, and I know next week, Brother Norbert has indicated, we are going to dig into projects and things that the government did in a positive way from 2016 up until now. We may not be able to, there's so many things that happen, we may not be able to do everything. But this is what we are here to do on a Monday night and on a Wednesday every fortnight, to bring to the people of St. Lucia what is happening from this government. I am about moving this country forward to see our country beautiful, prosperity.
Likewise.
So the Labour Party now, when their supporters, when they see what has happened for the last 4.5 years, they too could make a decision in a positive manner and say, you know what, I'm not voting for the Labour Party, I'm voting for these guys because I want to see my country go forward. This is what I'm about and this is what we are about here.
Yes.
On Sky FM. Una ya budi Doc Avenue Party?
Eh bien, ça m'a dit, moi, quand dit tout le monde cette ici, si tous ces jeunesses-là, préparer à l'ICADIO, et pour le gouvernement cette ici, dans nos dates d'élection, pour nous continuer à voter par Flamboa. Parce que c'est Flamboa qui amène le développement et puis employement et pour nous mener manger les tableaux par Flamboa. Alors, on encourage tout le monde, tout le monde cette ici, continuer à rester à bord Flamboa et puis pour nous, tout bagaille vie au yam. Alors, je dis tout le monde ici, continuer à rester à bord Flambeau Train et puis pour nous, tout bagaille vie au yal. Et puis, je dis, oui, merci. Tout le monde qui reste écouteur soya et puis continue à écouter Sky FM. Et puis, avant nous partir, je vais un petit coup de solo. Écoutez ça. Roulo!
Oulé.
Les bas enragés, les bas désolés, les bas enragés, parce qu'ils ont perdu l'élection. Zot ni chanzot, zot koui derrière, by chasse ne chance li, pour faire travail li. Opposition, ben moi dis zot ça, zot en pied chasse ne, pour faire travail li. Les bas enragés, les bas désolés, les bas enragés, parce qu'ils ont perdu l'élection.
Okay, well, folks, Crossfire will be on every Thursday night at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. every Thursday, Crossfire. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, keeping it real right here on Sky FM with the charming Minerva Ward and myself, yours truly, Norbert Williams, for the morning edition.
You have the announcement of the virtual meeting. You don't have it? We had it earlier.
My phone went off.
Oh, I have it. Okay.
We
need to play it to the people to know what's happening on Sunday.
Okay, you want the you want this here?
Yes.
Okay,
on
folks,
Sunday.
Champagne has a little quick thing there for you that he wants you to hear. So, here we go, folks. Champagne to his. Here we go, Champagne. Don't forget, folks, Sky FM 93.1 around the island. That's right.
Let's go.
Everybody ready? All on board! Oh, how we missed the good old days. The rallies, the flags, your outfits, and connecting with you in person. COVID is the new reality, but the show must go on. On Sunday, March 21st, we kick off the first in a series of live virtual meetings. Meet your new candidates and listen to your trusted MPs as we take you on a recap of the past 5 years and set the master plan for the continued progress and development of our St. Lucia. Sunday, March 21st, 7 p.m. live on DBS Television, Hot 7 TV, GTV TV, Facebook, and YouTube. The United Workers' Party. Let's keep working.
Everybody hopping up on the Flavo train. Everybody hop.
We'll be here on Sky FM to bring you this live broadcast, virtual broadcast on Sky FM as well. All right, St. Lucia. We want to say thank you very much for tuning and staying up with us on the first program with Crossfire. And we hope that you enjoy the program, and we hope to see you next Thursday evening.
Yes. Oh, thank you very much, Champagne. Okay, folks, that's it for me, and that's it for all of us. We're we're moving over to programming already in progress from the BBC in London. Have a good night, folks. Crossfire, discussing the issues. Norbert Williams, Champagne, Dr. Secret, and Ring the Bell. Thursdays, 8 p.m. on Sky FM and GVD TV. Don't you miss it.
Everybody ready? All on
Oh, how we missed the good old days. The rallies, the flags, your outfits, and connecting with you in person. COVID is a new reality, but the show must go on. On Sunday, March 21st, we kick off the first in a series of live virtual meetings. Meet your new candidates and listen to your trusted MPs as we take you on a recap of the past 5 years and set the master plan for the continued progress and development of our St. Lucia.
Sunday, March 21st, 7 p.m. live on DBS Television, Hot 7 TV, GTV TV, Facebook, and YouTube. The United Workers' Party. Let's keep working.
Everybody up on the Flamo train.